As I mentioned in the video, I did have an accident. I'm happy, I'm safe now. I do have a lot of bruising all over my body. Hello and welcome. Today we're making bean and cheese enchiladas for those hectic weeknights when time is limited. Let's start off by making an easy enchilada sauce. And then you want to add your steak. Some nice hot honey. And some creamy smooth beans. Ooh, that's creamy and cheesy. Hello and welcome back. Today we're making a no-fuss, crunchy, beefy dinner. Just make sure to have at least 1 pound of ground beef and your favorite taco seasoning. Place your burner on a medium-high heat and add 1 tablespoon of lard or your favorite oil. Add your ground beef and start breaking it down. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of Kinder taco seasoning. It's my favorite one. It tastes like home. So good. We'll break it down some more with that seasoning. It's already starting to smell so good in this house. You want to continue to cook for another 4 to 6 minutes. And boom, done. Our ground beef is ready. You're going to take your tostada. You're going to add some beans to it. Add your desired amount of ground beef. Some salsa. Some guacatillo. Place it right over the top. Freshly shredded lettuce. Mexican cheese blend. Delicious pico de gallo. And your choice of crema fresca or sour cream. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say And there you have it, a quick and easy dinner giving you more time to enjoy your family. Look away because this is about to get really dangerous. That's so good. It's absolutely delicious. Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Salsa Verde buttery steak sauce that goes perfect not just with steak. You can use this for your vegetables, over rice, or your favorite proteins. Let's start by roasting 8 tomatillos, 1 serrano, and 1/4 of an onion. And once your ingredients are nice and roasted, you're going to place them into your blender. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 2 chiles de árbol. And now you're going to give it a slight blend. You don't want it too smooth. I'll show you the consistency that you need in just a moment. That's about 6 pulses, and you want to be careful because our ingredients are hot and you don't want it to pop all over you, especially if you're using one of these little tiny mixers. You want to be able to see most of your ingredients. Place your burner on a medium heat and you're going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. If you don't have olive oil, don't worry. Anything will work for this recipe. Add 1/4 of a minced onion. And you're going to continue to cook for 1.5 minutes to 2. Next, you're going to add 3 minced garlic cloves. And you're going to cook them for about 20 seconds. This will go by really quick. Your burner on a medium low, and you're gonna add 2 sticks of butter. Once your butter completely melts, continue cooking it for another 30 seconds. Next, you're gonna pour in your salsa verde. Give that a loving mix, and continue cooking for another minute. And I'm being precise because I want you to enjoy this as much as our family does. After about a minute, you're gonna go ahead and turn your burner off. You're gonna add half a tablespoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of Mexican oregano, and 1/4 of a cup of finely chopped cilantro. A beautiful, delicious salsa verde buttery sauce for all your needs. And if you don't want to try it with any of the proteins, guess what? This tastes great with some spaghetti. And there you have it, a beautiful salsa verde buttery sauce for all occasions. Who's ready for a dip? And for this deliciousness, you're gonna need 2 skewers minimum. Don't worry, the bread's gonna absorb all the deliciousness and you're gonna be so happy. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say ah. And before I take a huge bite out of this, because this is so good, it's gonna get dangerous, so look away. You know, you can dip this as many times as you want, especially if you have a birthday coming up. The beef is so juicy and tender. Wow. I'm trying to scoop the beef. Hello and welcome. I know a lot of you don't feel like cooking right now. It's June, it's hot, it's raining, it's muggy, but not to worry. Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious creamy smothered chicken that's going to get you out of the kitchen within 25 minutes so that you can go and relax and do the rest of the things that you love to do with your evening. And since the theme today is saving you time, you're going to want to use a baggie. You're going to place 4 chicken breasts into your bag. You'll need 1 teaspoon of white or black pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour, 3 minced garlic cloves. Give that a little twist. And now you're gonna shake it up, coating each and every piece of chicken breast that you have. Then you wanna open it back up, add half a thinly sliced onion, and 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. You're gonna twist and give another shake and rub. Nice little massage. Make sure everything's nice and coated. And now you want to set this to the side while we get started on our sauce. To your blender, you want to add 1.5 cups of half and half. 4 tomatillos, and today I'm using the ones straight out of the can. I'm kind of obsessed with them currently because they're so easy to use. And whenever I have any left over, it's like, oh, I need to make some more salsa. I need to use these. But if you guys aren't too sure about using canned, you can always boil them and then add them right on in. Half a tablespoon of chicken bouillon, 1 teaspoon of sugar, half a tablespoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and now you want to blend until smooth. And boom, done. Let's sear some chicken. Place your burner on a medium-high heat and allow your pan to warm up for a good minute. Next, you're going to place your delicious chicken on your hot pan. Continue searing for the next 6 minutes. And next, you just want to flip your chicken. Once you flip your chicken, you're going to add a few pieces of butter right on the top of your chicken breast. And you want to add your sauce. I have a little bit of sauce in my blender, so I'm going to add about half a cup of water. I'm going to shake it up and pour it right back in. 2 cans of green chili. And you just want to mix that up and scrape the bottom of your pan. Usually when you want to make this, you can take the chicken out, but since we want to get this done quickly, make do. Just move your chicken around, scrape the bottom of your pan, and have fun with it. Once you scraped all your drippings into your sauce, you're gonna take half a tablespoon of Mexican oregano. You're gonna sprinkle it over. At this point, your chicken breast is pretty much cooked. All we're waiting for is for our sauce to thicken up. So you wanna continue cooking on a medium heat for 10 to 15 minutes. And boom, done. Our smothered chicken is ready. You can sprinkle some green onions for garnish. And you wanna serve your smothered chicken with some mashed potatoes. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say Oh my goodness, this is unbelievably delicious. The chicken's nice and tender. The gravy's so warm and comforting, especially for these rainy days that we've been having. And you guys need to look away. It's gonna get dangerous for us. That's so good. Hello and welcome. The kids are out of school and they're super hungry all the time. Today we're gonna make them a lunch that's gonna keep their bellies full and make them super happy. Now you have a choice of using refried beans or your favorite beef filling. Today I'm gonna be using our Barbacoa recipe. Now let's get started. What I have in this bowl is our glue. We use this to seal our taquitos and for our chimichangas. It's a mixture of flour and water, and you're gonna mix it until it's nice and smooth and pasty like this. Take some glue. You're gonna add some Mexican cheese blend, some juicy barbacoa, fold, and wrap. And then you're gonna place this part down on your beautiful tray. Same thing for our delicious refried beans. Oh, they smell so good. And we're gonna continue with the remaining mini chimmies. I'm gonna be making a lot. I have my whole family over today, and we're just gonna enjoy these little fried chimichangas. We have a bunch of kids here today. We do. They're gonna love me so much that they're gonna put the dishes in the dishwasher and then wait until they're done and put it away. With an uncoated wooden spoon, chopstick, or your toothpicks, you're gonna test your oil. I've been warming up my oil on a medium heat with the cast iron, and we're gonna check how hot it is. We're ready to fry. Now, I only use canola oil for frying, but make it comfortable for your home. Now you're gonna place your mini chimmies gently into your oil, and they do fry quickly since we're using flour tortilla, so please be gentle with yourself. I mean, they're so cute, they're irresistible. I can't. This is going to be delicious. When your oil's hot enough, you're going to count about 30 seconds and then you're going to turn it. Let's go ahead and start turning them. You see? They have that little golden color. They're beautiful. It shouldn't take you more than 1.5 to 2 minutes to fry these to perfection, so hang tight. And just like that, we have beautifully fried mini chimmies. And whenever I have any kind of broth, whether I'm making chicken, beef, or pork, I use that broth to make some beautiful sopitas de fideo. And I call anything that's in those little packets fideo. These are the conchas. But it's super easy to make and perfect to serve with this recipe. We're going to place our chimichangas in a little pyramid and just have fun with it. Your iceberg lettuce, some guacamole, press it down nicely, some delicious pico de gallo, and some crema fresca. You can place your soup right on the side. And who's ready for a delicious bite? I'm gonna need somebody very special to say In Mexican culture, it's a custom to have your food with a little bit of soup or a consomme, and this works perfectly. So remember, don't throw any of your broth away. Use it for a fideo. Even if you have to have consomme and you can sprinkle a little bit of cabbage on the top, it's gonna be delicious, but we're ready to dig in. I'm warning you guys, it's gonna get dangerous, and once you take a bite, you wanna dip it into a little bit of your broth. This is absolutely delicious. Remember, if you're cooking alone, play some music, play our videos, let us know and we'll reply to you in the comments, but this is definitely something you can make week after week after week. If you have a lot of family over during the holidays or the summertime, make sure to have a lot of beans, a little bit less beef, and that way you can balance out between one chimichanga with beans, one with barbacoa or your choice of filling, and then with the sopita, they're gonna be filled, they're gonna be ready for a nap, and then you get to take a bath, watch your favorite program, and relax. So good. And make sure to wash it down with the delicious watermelon, agua fresca. Salud. Hello and welcome back. I hope that you love a slow cooked, tender, juicy barbecue as much as I do. And in order to achieve that at home, you're gonna need a slow cooker. So go ahead and place your slow cooker on high, add 1 tablespoon of lard, and make sure to stick around to the end because I'll be showing you how to make a salsa verde coleslaw that goes perfect with your barbecue sandwiches, your tacos, and it's sure to hold you through the summer. And before we get started with this recipe, I don't want you to feel limited. This recipe and seasoning works best with beef, pork, or chicken. So if you decide to slather some on some shrimp, it's gonna taste delicious. And even those of you that love tofu, it works perfectly. This recipe is good for 8 to 10 pounds of pork. Once you get your big piece of pork butt, you wanna chop it into smaller pieces. Season with 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of black pepper. Make sure that all your pieces are coated with the seasoning. And then you're gonna add them right into your slow cooker with that nice hot lard. Okay, leave this here without touching anything and let's go and blend our sauce. Now to make our barbecue sauce, you're gonna need to use 4 chiles guajillos and 4 chiles anchos. If you don't have access to your ancho chiles, you can find some pasillas that have a similar flavor, but let me tell you, the ancho, once you toast it, remove your seeds and the stem, it's gonna bring out a flavor that's gonna pop in your mouth once you take a bite out of that pork. Soak your chiles in some hot water. That should take you 8 to 10 minutes or until they're nice and soft. To your blender, you're gonna add your guajillo chiles, ancho chiles, 3 cloves, 1 tablespoon of Mexican oregano, 1 tablespoon of ground cumin, 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon, 3/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar, half a cup of water, and now you want to blend until smooth. And boom, done. And you're just going to pour your sauce right over all your pieces of pork. Any sauce left over in your blender, just add a little bit of water. Get all that sauce out. You're just going to give that a loving mix to make sure that every single piece is coated. You're going to add 4 garlic cloves, 1 sliced onion, 3 bay leaves. Combine all your ingredients. And now you're going to cook on low for 8 hours. And boom, done. Our barbecue is ready. And just by me mixing, it's pretty much shredding our barbecue. Just perfect. So you get a little bit of shredded, a little bit of chunks, and it's just going to allow it to melt in your mouth. You can add a little bit of extra onions, cilantro, pickled purpled onions, and a little squeeze of lime juice. If you're like me, you like good gossip. So if you want your family to gossip about you at your barbecue, go ahead and chop one green apple and add that to your slaw. You want to pick your favorite buns, but these are the ones that my kids like, and that's what I chose today. Toast your buns slightly, that way you make sure that it doesn't get too soaked up, unless you like that kind of thing. Then soak it up. I really love how sneaky the onion is in here. Ooh. And boom, done, a delicious barbecue sandwich. Cheers. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say ah. And there you have it, an easy and delicious barbecue that you can make any time of the year. This is a perfect meal prep recipe for you guys. And let me tell you, don't skip on that coleslaw. It's gonna be a game changer for your barbacoa tacos. And I hope you guys enjoy this recipe as much as I enjoy cooking it for you. Wow. And I do want to let you guys know that this recipe, I made it so that it's not too spicy or over seasoned, but that it still pulls a lot of flavor. Because when you're presenting something at a barbecue, everybody's going to be like, I don't like this, I do like this. And this one is going to be neutral. Everybody's going to talk about it. They're going to ask you how you made it. And don't be shy to tell them where you got the recipe. Just give them our link. And when you make this taco and you take a bite out of it, I want you to think of me and say a little prayer, because this taco is going to transform the way you enjoy your barbacoa. From the soft, tender, juicy barbecue to that crunch you get from your coleslaw with a hint of lime. It's not too spicy. It's not boring. It's absolutely delicious. Hello and welcome. We all have a go-to meal when we're short on time, and it doesn't get easier than green beans in a can. You want to start by placing your burner on a medium heat and adding 1 tablespoon of lard, or you can use oil. And by using lard, you're going to add a lot of flavor, and it's a lot healthier for you. Once your pan is nice and hot, you're going to add half of an onion, 1 tomato, and 1 Anaheim pepper. If you don't have access to Anaheim pepper, you can use a green bell pepper, a poblano, or whatever green pepper you have on hand. It's best to cook all of these ingredients until they're nice and soft and your onions are translucent. So we're going to continue to cook on a medium heat for another 4 to 6 minutes. Once you can tap your tomatoes and they mush up a little bit like that, that means that you're ready to add 1 tablespoon of chili powder, and that's guajillo chili powder, and 2 minced garlic. Combine your ingredients and cook that for 30 seconds. You don't want to burn the chili for this part, and you also don't want to burn your garlic, so just take it light. I have 1.3 pounds of ground beef, but this recipe is good anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds of ground beef. So go ahead and add your ground beef, and start breaking it down and combining it with your ingredients. You're going to add 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of Mexican oregano, 1 large potato, 2 beautiful cans of fresh cut green beans, 1 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. Add 2 cups of chicken broth. If you don't have fresh chicken broth, you can always use 2 cups of hot water, and you can adjust your chicken bouillon to your liking. If you notice, we didn't sear our ground beef too much because we want it to be nice, juicy, and tender with this particular dish. Continue cooking for another 15 to 20 minutes or until your potatoes are nice and soft. You just want to add the finishing touches, which is a little bit of cilantro, and then you can turn your burner off. Give that a loving mix. I'm going to need somebody very special to say ah. And there you have it, a quick and easy dinner that your whole family can enjoy no matter how difficult your day was. That's so comforting. When I was a teenager and went home hungry, when I looked at the pan and this recipe was there, it was my happiest days because I love this recipe and I hope you guys love it as much as I do. Hello and welcome. In 2004, when rhinestone jeans were popular, all I could think about was these tacos. They were on every menu. I get a paycheck, I would go buy these tacos, and guess what? I couldn't buy those jeans because they were really expensive, but I did learn how to make these tacos, and now I'm going to show you how to make them. And the best part is that you don't have to go outside to grill because it's going to be a quick and easy recipe. Let's start off by making our seasoning. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of tomato chicken bouillon. You're going to need half a tablespoon of annatto, and if you can't find it in a powder form, you can always use about 1 tablespoon of your achota paste. Half a tablespoon of ground coriander. Half a tablespoon of ground cumin. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. 1 teaspoon of white pepper. Half a tablespoon of Mexican oregano. Half a tablespoon of thyme. Half a tablespoon of sugar. Combine all your seasonings and set it to the side. In another bowl, you're going to add 1/4 of a cup of olive oil, 3 tablespoons of yellow mustard, and for this marinade, you can use vinegar or you can use fresh lime juice. I'm going to use the juice of 1 lime. Okay, now it's time to season our chicken. And this amount of seasoning is perfect for about 6 pounds of chicken. Just want to make sure to coat it thoroughly. Once you fully coat your chicken, you're going to go ahead and add your wet ingredients. For best flavor, you want to marinate this overnight. You can go up to 2 days since it's chicken. And guess what? I already marinated a lot of chicken. Now we're going to go ahead and place it into our indoor grill. And at the halfway mark for our chicken breasts, we're going to go ahead and flip them. Our chicken is ready, and I'm going to start taking that out and placing it on the side. You want to wrap your chicken breast with a little bit of plastic so that way it doesn't get too dry, but this is what your chicken leg is going to look like, nice and crispy. And grilled to perfection. We're going to get started on our Baja sauce. You're going to need 1 cup of mayonnaise, 1 cup of sour cream, 2 chipotles in adobo sauce, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of sugar, and the juice of half a lime. And now you just want to blend that until smooth. And boom, done. These tacos taste best with flour tortillas. You're going to take your flour tortillas, add a little bit of your sauce to the bottom, iceberg lettuce, add your chicken, Mexican cheese blend, Baja sauce, some avocado, and if your Mexican parents are paying your bills, you have to make sure to say aguacate, a little bit of lime juice, and we're not done. You're gonna need the sides. If you don't have the proper sides, this won't taste as good. I have black pepper, pinto beans, and Mexican rice. Now I'm gonna need somebody very special to say And for those of you that don't have an indoor grill, not to worry. If you cook this over your stovetop, it'll taste just as good. I'll leave the recommendations for cook time in the description area, but if you have an option this year to purchase a kitchen gadget, I definitely pick this indoor grill. And you can enjoy some grilled tacos at any time with super easy cleanup. Look away, it's gonna get dangerous. As I mentioned, I used to spend a lot of money on this taco, and I'm probably gonna indulge with 4 more. Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to perfect your corn on the cob. We're going to start with a Mexican street corn and we're going to finish it with the seasoned butter. All you want to do is start peeling your sweet, delicious corn. The key ingredient to boiling your corn is going to be beef broth. If you don't have access to fresh beef broth, do not use the canned version. Just go ahead and use whatever chicken broth you have on hand. Or you can even mix your chicken bouillon with a little bit of warm water and boil it that way. You're going to take 2 tablespoons of instant corn masa, also known as maseca, and you're going to add a little bit of milk at a time. You want to dissolve your instant corn flour into the milk. And what the milk's going to do, it's going to keep our corn nice and tender, and when you take a bite out of it, it's going to snap. Gonna snap, and all that delicious juiciness from the corn is gonna explode in your mouth. You're gonna add that into your beef broth. You're gonna add that into your pot. Oh, I need to dissolve that a little bit more. You're gonna place your burner on high because you want this to come up to a vigorous boil. Once your pot reaches a boil, you're going to start adding your corn. You're going to continue to boil on a medium heat for 15 minutes. And while our corn is boiling, we're going to get started on our seasoned butter. You're going to add half a tablespoon of neutral oil, add 2 sticks of butter, and I'm going to be using half a tablespoon of my favorite Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse seasoning. It's delicious, but if you don't have this on hand, you can use any other seasoning that you have. You can use your taco seasoning or even some steakhouse seasoning. All of those will work for this recipe. So you can start with half a tablespoon or you can use a full tablespoon. It's going to be up to you to adjust to taste. You're going to use 1 tablespoon of lemon pepper. And to get this to pop in your mouth, you're going to want to use 2 tablespoons of the Rose's sweetened lime juice from concentrate. Now, if you don't want to use this, I'll tell you when to add your lime juice. If you love cilantro, you're going to add a little bit of chopped cilantro. Turn off your burner, and that's when you're going to add your fresh lime juice. Give that a loving mix. Ooh, I just want to jump in there. It's so good. Give or take 15 to 20 minutes, your corn is ready. And you'll see as it boils, you'll get some of your corn masa to come to the top, and that's okay. That adds so much flavor. I definitely suggest you taste this broth and do not dispose of it. Use it to make some soup. Let me tell you, whoever loves corn is gonna love that soup that you make. And you guys already know what I'm gonna make. It's fideo. Now you're going to have options. You can dip all of the corn into this delicious butter seasoning. Now regardless if you're making your Mexican street corn, it doesn't matter. I definitely suggest you dip it into your seasoned butter because it's going to enhance the flavor and it's just absolutely delicious. And if you're serving this party style, it's perfect to dip it in here and then you can place it into your slow cooker. They stay nice and warm and buttery. And then everybody can just put their favorite toppings over it. And once you boil your corn, it's super easy to insert your stick and give it that true, authentic street corn flavor. It's gonna make a difference, okay? Now, in order to get that good flavor in your Mexican street corn, you're gonna need the McCormick mayonesa with lime. Be very generous with your mayonnaise. Dip it in your cotija cheese. Sprinkle your tajin. And then if you would like a little bit of hot sauce, you can pour your hot sauce right on over that. And then they're easy to roll up for all your guests to enjoy for your barbecue season. You can use a sticker, a little piece of tape, and boom, done. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say hello and welcome. Today we're making juicy al pastor ribs in the oven. They're so tender they fall off the bone, but I highly recommend that you make some tacos. Since we are going to be using a variety of chiles today, we're going to go over them. The number one chile that we tend to use here on this channel is guajillo chiles. You can find these at most of your Mexican grocery stores, and even in just any kind of grocery store, they're likely to have these. What you want to do with these chiles is you want to take them out of your bag. You want to remove the stem and the seeds. So if you choose to use this chile, you're not gonna cry. It's mild. Even if you use 4 or 6, you should be able to handle it. But if you can't handle spice at all, just go with 1. It's gonna enhance the flavor and the color of your dish. The next chile that you wanna use is your pasilla or an ancho chile. These sometimes get mixed together. You'll notice that some are long, some are short, but at the end, you're gonna get the flavor that you need from these chilies, which is a nice little kick, a smoky, earthy, fruity flavor. With this one, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to toast it on your stove in order for it to get warm enough for you to remove the stem and the seeds. And here is a favorite that you might recognize, your chipotle in adobo. If you can't find your chipotles in adobo, you're not likely to find them dry unless you go to a specialty Mexican market. But I suggest to get a good can of your chipotle, and these do get spicy depending on the brand that you're using. So start with 1, and then the next time you make the recipe, you can also add another, and then you can adjust to your liking. And don't act like you can't handle the spice. You love these because they're just roasted jalapenos. And if you want your ribs to get sassy and talk back, I definitely suggest that you use some chiles de árbol. This is a spicy señorita from all chiles. If you can't handle the spice, but you need a little bit of a kick, start with half. But if you really want to bring in some heat, I definitely go with 3 and then adjust after that, because with all the spices and seasonings that we're using, you're bound to scare someone. So take it easy. And the chiles that you're soaking is your guajillo, your pasilla, and if you chose some spice, you're going to add your chiles de árbol. To your blender, you want to add 6 ounces of pineapple juice, 8 ounces of orange juice, 3/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar, your softened chiles, 2 chipotles in adobo sauce, 2 tablespoons of Mexican oregano, 1 tablespoon of ground cumin, 1/2 tablespoon of ground ginger, 1/2 tablespoon of black pepper, 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon, 1/2 tablespoon of salt, 6 pieces of clove, the spice, 4 garlic cloves, 2 bay leaves, and if they're small, you can add a little extra one. 3.5 ounces of achiote paste, and if you don't have access to achiote paste, you can use 2 tablespoons of annatto powder. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. These next 2 ingredients are optional, but they enhance the flavor of your ribs. You're gonna use 1 teaspoon of coriander powder and 1/2 tablespoon of liquid smoke. And now you're gonna blend until smooth. And boom, done. Let's coat our ribs. Let's start by removing all of the moisture from our rack of ribs. This marinade is gonna be good for up to 8 pounds of ribs. I'm gonna show you how to slice your ribs for your tacos and how to slice them for your barbecue grilling. Today I'll be using my kamikoto knives. These beautiful knives come in a heavy-duty ash wood box, which makes for a great present, especially with Father's Day coming up. I love that the knives are made with high-quality Japanese steel, and your box set will include the only 3 knives you'll need to prep your food. I'll begin prepping our ribs by using the nigiri knife. See, if you were to slice right here, you would only have enough meat for one little taco. You don't want anybody to get sad, so I'd go up here into this bone right here, and then you want to start slicing. And by doing that, you get to coat all of your rib, and when you place them in the oven, every single person gets a piece of the charred parts that we all love. And this piece right here is the one that you're going to be serving for your barbecue plate. And just when you think this recipe can't get any better, it does. Gamikoto's currently running a massive Father's Day sale, making sure that each and every one of you watching right now will get $50 off. So all you have to do is click the link right here, use views for a discount code, and if you need additional information, make sure you look in the description area. I'm only going to add a little bit of our marinade into the bowl, and if I have any extra marinade left, I can place it into my freezer for later use. You'll get the best flavor of your ribs if you allow the marinade to rest and soak up for a minimum of 24 hours. But if you need this within the hour, I think a good hour should give you enough to shine with your family. And when you have your ribs sliced up just like this, it's best to marinate them in a bag. You'll have more space in your refrigerator, allowing you to make more ribs, because once you start with one, then everybody wants to eat the whole rack. So you have to have enough. This is what it looks like when it's been resting for 24 hours, soaking up all those delicious seasonings. So this one, I'm going to go ahead and place them into separate little baggies in the freezer for later use. And now you're going to bake your ribs in the oven at 350 degrees for 2 hours with the foil on. After 2 hours, you're going to remove the foil, and that's when you're going to begin coating your ribs with a little bit of pineapple juice to enhance that flavor we all love from Al Pastor. In this bowl, I have a little bit of pineapple juice, and I'm going to add a little bit of honey. Give that a loving mix. And then you want to start coating your ribs. They're going to go back in the oven, and you're going to repeat this process 2 more times. And you're going to ask, why are we going to do this 2 times? So that we can get a beautiful and delicious crust. And remember, no foil for this part. And boom, done. Our ribs are ready. As I mentioned, fall off the bone, delicious. You want to pour your favorite salsa over your ribs. Perfect. Ooh. And then you're just going to give a quick, coarse chop. Because by this time, everybody's going to be staring at you that they're hungry, and you want to get this done quickly. I like to use our guacatillo salsa for this. Cilantro and onions will never fail you. Salsa verde. And a slice of pineapple. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say The hardest part about making these tacos would be the time you have to wait to marinate and the cooking time in the oven. Aside from that, it's going to be super easy to make and super easy to assemble your tacos. Just need a little bit of lime. These are absolutely delicious, and I'm going to tell you why. All the seasonings that we prepared for our ribs come through with a little touch of sweetness once you squeeze a little bit of lime juice on it. If you don't squeeze a little bit of lime juice, you're not going to get those flavors to pop in your mouth. So if you don't like lime, I'm worried about you, but you're going to have to this time around, and look away because it's about to get dangerous. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. Today I'm going to show you how to enjoy your fajitas for breakfast, and you can't have fajitas without some delicious bell peppers. You're going to need an assortment of bell peppers, and I'm going to go with green, red and orange. You'll also need 8 ounces of your favorite sausage. Today I'm using longaniza, or you can also use your sausage links. 2 small onions, tortillas, eggs, salt and pepper to taste, your favorite delicious sides, and some homemade pinto beans. Let's start this recipe by cracking our eggs. You might be asking yourself, how many eggs should I use, Steph? And I'm going to say, if you have an adult, grown man, maybe 3 eggs. If you have children, 1 egg, and you have to adjust based off of that. But if you guys are going to make some eggs for me, just know that I will eat 3. What about you, Cloud?
3 or 4, depending on my workout.
You've been hitting that workout. Ooh, I'm going to have to join you.
Ooh.
Once I heal.
I know. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know at the end what happened to me. We're going to enjoy making this recipe and cracking our eggs. Make sure you wash your hands if you get any of the egg whites on your hands. Add your desired amount of black pepper. And I only salt my eggs once they're almost done cooking. I'm going to add a little bit of cream. And then you're going to beat it, because nobody wants to be defeated at breakfast time. And boom, done. Set your eggs to the side. If you try to make this with chorizo, it's not going to work out the same way than it would with longaniza. Longaniza is more likely to keep its form, and that's what we're looking for breakfast. But if all you have is chorizo, go ahead and use that. Place your burner on a medium-high heat and allow your pan to warm up for 2 minutes. Once your oil and your pan are nice and hot, you're going to start adding your sausage. Allow your sausage to cook for 3 minutes, and after 3 minutes, you're going to start flipping them to the other side. Once you flip your sausage over, you're going to pour your onions right on the top, and you're not going to move anything for the next 4 to 6 minutes. And while our sausages are cooking, we're going to get started on our eggs. I'm going to use a lot of butter. It's at least 3 tablespoons. And when I make eggs, I like to make love when I make eggs. And what I mean by that is that I cook them in a very, very low temperature. My eggs usually take about 15 minutes to cook. That's how low the temperature I cook them in. And you just want to stir periodically. And you won't start seeing progress in your egg cooking until about the 10-minute mark. It's been 4 minutes. We're going to add our bell peppers. And for those of you that like a little spice, you can add a jalapeno or a serrano. And now you're just going to give that a gentle mix. The onions look glorious. It smells so good here. When you get to this point of mixing, you're going to get super excited, and I'm sure your whole family is going to be waiting for a plate. But they're going to have to wait. They're going to have to wait another 4 minutes. I'm going to place my temperature on a medium-low, and by that time our onions are going to be even softer, and our bell peppers are going to be cooked to perfection. Lastly, you're just going to sprinkle with a little bit of salt. Give it a loving mix. And we are ready to serve our breakfast fajitas. This is the kind of dish you want to make for your loved one when they were super nice to you all week. They went to work, they didn't harass you all week, and you know, this is a perfect weekend type of breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And for those of you that are new to our channel, I want you guys to know that I've been cooking since I was 4 years old, and the first thing I chose to make was a fried egg for my sister. Our parents like to sleep in on the weekends, and my sister and I were so hungry that I just went for it. I'd seen it done so many times, and I felt confident, and I probably made the best eggs that I've ever made at home.
They were delicious.
Please don't let your kids fry eggs at 4. It can be
right
dangerous.
next to you.
Well, we were both kids though. All right, our eggs are ready. Let's serve. I'm going to show you 2 ways to serve your fajitas. If you have a little cast iron fajita pan, you're going to want to use it. Ooh, be careful. You might have a little too much fun in this kitchen. And now I'm going to prepare you a little bit of fajitas for your taco. I'm going to start off with putting my guacamole at the bottom. Make sure everything else sticks in here. I'm going to need somebody very special to say Yes, more. More. As I mentioned in the video, I did have an accident. I'm happy. I'm safe now. I do have a lot of bruising all over my body. I'm healing and I'm happy. I'm just grateful to be alive right now, and I want to thank my nurse for taking care of me. And we're going to be back to quick and easy, delicious recipes for you. I want to thank you guys that came all last week for our compilations, but we're back. All the recipes that I had lined up for you guys, I'm going to be presenting here in the next 2 weeks. So I hope you enjoy the breakfast fajitas. Hello and welcome back. Today we're making a refreshing creamy cucumber agua fresca, and all you're going to need is to start peeling your 4 cucumbers. And this is just a habit in case this cucumber's bitter. I was told that this prevents bitterness, but we all know it's the amount of water during cultivation that really determines that. But hey, let me believe it, okay? Let me believe this. And if you believe the same thing, let me know in the comments. And if you're looking for an awesome peeler, I suggest you go with the KitchenAid one. It hasn't failed me. It's going strong. I love it, and it's still nice and sharp. Once you peel your cucumbers, you're just gonna chop them up and place them into your blender. 5 cups of water. The juice of 2 key limes for best flavor, but if you only have lime, that's okay. It's gonna be just as delicious. And in order to get this drink to pop in your mouth, you're gonna need 2 tablespoons of condensed lime juice. And now you want to blend it until smooth. And boom, done. Let's strain. And once you're done straining, you're going to pour it right back into your blender. One can of condensed milk, 10 mint leaves, and to prevent separation, 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, a handful of ice cubes, and now you're going to blend until smooth. And boom, done. And your finishing touches are going to be a little bit of chopped cucumber and some pineapple bits. And boom, done. Who's ready for a taste? I'm gonna need somebody very special to say ah. And just when you think this drink's not gonna get any better, it does. It's easy to make it into a nice little slushie. And this is when you want to add some of the pulp that we removed from the drink. It's gonna give it an extra pepino flavor. And all you have to do is blend until smooth. And boom, done. I personally like a little bit of the extra lime flavor. I'm going to add a little drop of this. And a little bit of condensed milk. Now I'm going to need somebody very special to say ah. And there you have it, a super easy and refreshing drink that the whole family can enjoy. And I do have a warning for you. This sells out quick, so make a little bit extra. Oh, that's so good. Ooh! Yeah. Don't skip on the pineapple. Mmm. Qué rico. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. Today we're going to make an old-fashioned Mexican dinner, and we're going to start by placing 3 pounds of beef into our Instant Pot. 2 chile guajillos, make sure to remove the stems and the seeds. 1/4 of an onion. 3 garlic cloves. 2 bay leaves. 1 teaspoon of Mexican oregano. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. 1 heaping teaspoon of salt. And 4 cups of water. And now you're going to pressure cook for 30 minutes and you're going to allow a slow release. And while our beef is cooking in the Instant Pot, I'm going to get started on some easy dinner flour tortillas. The recipe that I'm using today is our most recent one, and it seems to have been able to help a lot of you, so go ahead and check it out if you haven't. And boom, done. Our beef is ready. Go ahead and start removing your beef pieces, and as far as the broth, don't get rid of it. You can make a fideo soup, which is a classic simple recipe. Now the onions that are in here, you can keep them with what we're gonna make, but I'm gonna keep that for my soup, and I'm gonna start taking out our garlic cloves. We are gonna need those. And what I'm gonna do with the remaining broth, I will be blending everything together, the onions, whatever's left over from the beef, and our chilies, and I'm gonna be using that for the broth for our soup. Shred your beef, and it doesn't have to be too thin, just simple pieces, just like this. Some of them are gonna be smaller, but this is what you're looking for. For those of you that have an Instant Pot, remember that you can place this beef in the morning before you have to go to work. You can start cooking it and allow it to be in a slow pressure release and just keep it there until you get home, and it's going to be nice and warm and perfect, and it's going to be even more tender than this. Place your burner on a medium heat and drizzle about 1/2 tablespoon of oil. Remember watching the cooking shows and you're like, that's more than 1 tablespoon.
Every time. And karma has hit us because people tell us that now.
It's more than this. That's funny. I used to think that too.
Yeah.
Once your oil gets warm, you're going to add 1/2 sliced onion, 2 Anaheim peppers, and 2 tomatoes. And if you can't find Anaheim, pick your favorite green chili. We're going to continue to cook our ingredients for another 4 to 6 minutes until our onions are translucent and our tomatoes are nice and soft. Once your ingredients are nice and soft, you're going to start adding your shredded beef. Give that a loving mix. Our beef is so juicy. I got a really good cut this time. I'm so excited. I saved some of the broth that we blended with all the onion and all the extra stuff, and you're just going to pour just a little bit. We're going to go with about 1/2 cup. You want to make sure that you serve this juicy and not dry. So if for some reason you make this early on in the day and you want to serve it later for dinner, you can cook it and then save your broth, and when you warm it up, you can add that broth that we added, and it's going to keep it nice and juicy for you. This is also the time where you can adjust salt to taste if you want to use chicken bouillon, or if you want to use salt. For us, we kept it with salt, keep it nice and light. And I'm going to be using about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Once you've combined all your ingredients, you're going to continue to cook for another 8 to 10 minutes on a medium-low heat. And boom, done. We are ready to serve. Look at how delicious that looks. This is so comforting for me. I'm going to feast today, you guys. And you serve this with your Mexican rice and some creamy, smooth beans. And right when you serve your beans, you want to add your cheese so it can get nice and melty. Some of you think you're not going to eat a little bit of a salad. You're just going to make a little space here. And you're going to eat your salad. Don't look at me like that with the tomatoes. I know you have them on top of your Taco Bell tacos. This is no different. You're going to eat them. And you're going to need some freshly made flour tortillas. Here we have our soup, our fideo, and all I'm going to do to that is I'm going to add a little bit of onions and cilantro to the top. And any kind of barbacoa, birria, any beef broth that you have left over, you can always use it for an extra dish, just like this. I'm going to need somebody very special to say And these are the old-fashioned dishes that really bring comfort to your home. I grew up eating carne deshebrada, shredded beef, and honestly, I don't think I can stop. So I hope that you guys enjoy this dish as much as our family does because it's absolutely delicious. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. I'm your host Steph, and today we're making a pineapple horchata, a fruity and delicious refreshing drink. And I know some of you have time and some of you hardly have any time, but not to worry, I have you covered. So for those of you that don't have too much time on your hands, you're going to want to get some juice concentrates, okay? So you're going to get these in the freezer aisle of your local grocery store. And for those of you that have a little bit more time or want to keep it light and healthy, you can use fresh pineapple, and you're also going to need 2 green apples. Now, to keep this drink a little bit more traditional and refreshing, you want to make sure that you wash 1.5 cups of long grain rice. So go ahead and add your rice into a bowl. 7 cups of water. And as I get older, I enjoy clove a little bit more. I'm going to be adding 4, but if you don't like the flavor of clove and you just need a light hit, go ahead and add 2. 1 Mexican cinnamon stick. And allow this to set in the refrigerator overnight. The longer it sets in there, the better the flavor you're going to get for your horchata. So go ahead and start chopping your pineapple. Oh, this one's gonna be delicious. It's perfect.
What happened to your handle, sweetheart?
I can't find it, so I just used a straw to make it easier for me.
Mexican ingenuity.
You're gonna need 2 green apples, and just make sure that you peel them. Peel, chop, remove the seeds and everything. So when I was younger, in elementary school, a long time ago, we would get an apple at the cafeteria. And, you know, growing up, Mexican kids, we watch a lot of novelas, so everything has to do with love. So you get the stem and you start twisting, and in your head, you're going to go A, B, C, D, and you're going to say the alphabet. And then when it breaks, that letter means that that person has a crush on you, or you have a crush on that person.
All right, let's
Ready?
do it. Out loud.
F.
Oh, okay, Francisco.
Frank, Fernando, Fatima, Fabiola. I don't know. Somebody has a crush on you guys.
Oh, yes,
Like, nope, nobody comes to mind. Just give them a nice coarse chop and place them into your blender. And we're going to do that with our apples and our pineapple.
Your friend with the big hat's in the way. Can't see what's happening. Thank you.
Add 2 cups of water. And now we're going to blend it till smooth. Yeah. And boom, done. Add your blended ingredients into your pot. You're going to cook your ingredients for 20 to 25 minutes on a medium-low heat. We're going to cook our fruit so that way it can bring out the natural juices. If for some reason you have a pineapple that's not so juicy and it isn't as ripe as you would like, you can add 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup of sugar to sweeten it up. Friends, I have a huge warning for you, and sometimes, you know, we're human and we forget. Make sure that you crack the lid big time or you keep it off. When working with pineapple, I always tend to have spillage, and today is no different. I did have spillage, so I'm just giving you a warning. So it's going to be up to you, but at this point, I'm not going to be using a lid for any pineapple boiling that I ever do again. And now we have a delicious syrup. This is going to be the syrup that we're going to use to flavor our horchata, but you can pour this over some crushed ice and then you have a nice delicious treat. Boom, done. You can wait for your syrup to cool, or you can pour it right into your blender. Be very, very careful if you're going to pour it in hot. That's more for more advanced cooks. Other than that, you can let it cool. Be very careful with this part. And for those of you that don't have the time, you're going to need to half your pineapple concentrate and half your apple concentrate and pour it into your blender with 2 cups of water. Super easy, but for those of us that want to keep it natural, not to worry, because we've been drinking this one a lot and this one will come in handy for me too. So once you've done that, you're going to gently pour in your horchata blend. You see that murkiness in the water? That's all the flavor. And now you're going to blend until smooth. If you chose to use the hot syrup, make sure you blend slowly so that you can avoid any kind of accident, okay? Just nice and slow. And boom, done. And lastly, you're going to add 5 ounces of evaporated milk. You can also enhance the flavor of the creaminess by using half a cup to 1 cup of milk. And for those of you that have dietary restrictions and rather keep this vegan, you can use oat milk, you can use almond milk, or whatever milk that makes you feel happy.
Coconut milk makes me happy.
Oh, I had a feeling you were going to say that. So just pour your ingredients and strain. You can add your pineapple, your frozen pineapple bits. And boom, done. Our pineapple horchata is ready. And now for those of you that want a little extra, let's make a mocktail. We're going to be rimming our glass with a little bit of lechera and some cinnamon and sugar. And boom, done. A nice refreshing pineapple horchata. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say ah. And there we have it, an easy and refreshing pineapple horchata. My tip to you is gonna be, if you like more of the sweeter kind, you can use the fruit concentrates, or you can really pour in a lot of sugar. But I suggest you take it easy on your sugar and just have it the natural way. Hello and welcome. Today we're going to make a family favorite, soft and fluffy sopapillas. This is a quick and easy recipe to make, and make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to show you how to transform your sopapillas into a delicious ice cream cake. We're going to start off by adding 1 tablespoon of vanilla to our milk. You're going to need 2 cups of flour, and you're going to pour that right into your stand mixer. 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and you're just going to quickly combine your dry ingredients. Once you combine your ingredients, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of shortening. And now you're going to fully combine your shortening into your dry ingredients. Once you fully combine your ingredients, you're going to remove your whisk attachment, and you're going to slowly start adding a little bit of your wet ingredients at a time. We're going to continue combining our ingredients with our hook attachment. It's been a minute and you can smell your dough. It smells delicious. It's nice, sticky, and gooey, and we made sure to hydrate all of our flour. And this is a part where you want to adjust to your climate. I have 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour here, and I'm going to start adding about 2 tablespoons at a time and see if we need any more from there. And you're just going to mix until everything's well combined. This is going to be a little sticky, so what I like to do is I like to use a little bit of the shortening for my hands. And you're going to turn your dough into a nice round ball, just like this. If you have more than 6 people that you're feeding, you're going to want to double your recipe. You're going to take your dough and you're going to place it into your container. You can also wrap it with a little bit of plastic, but this little dish is preventing me from using so much plastic, which I love. And you're going to allow this to set for a minimum of 20 minutes in a warm place. I'm going to place it at 0 degrees in my oven for 20 minutes, and I'll see you soon. Once you allow your dough to rest, you're going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on your counter. And you're going to start rolling out your dough. As you can see, this dough is super easy to work with. You can roll it right out. And this is where you're going to start cutting out some squares. While you wait for your oil to get hot, you're going to notice that your sopapillas shrunk a little bit. I recommend that you give it an extra roll like this before you fry them in order to fluff up. If you don't give it that extra roll, they're not going to fluff up into nice sopapillas. They're going to be a little bit flatter. So it's going to be up to you. I suggest you try it so that way you see what I'm talking about. I've been warming up the canola oil for about 10 minutes on a medium-high heat. You're going to need this to be really hot in order to make your sopapillas. Once you see a vigorous bubble, look at that. That's when you're ready to fry. And you're going to place your sopapilla in your oil gently. If your sopapilla gets nice and fluffy like this, and you want that side to get golden, you're going to have to hold it down just like that. Now when you're frying multiple sopapillas, definitely count about 10 seconds in between before you add the next one. That way your oil doesn't change in temperature much and it's still nice and hot to where we need them so that they can fluff up. So pretty much the time it takes for your sopapilla to fluff up, you get to flip the other one, you add this one, and so on.
She's blossoming right before our eyes.
Yeah, these are so much fun to make. If this is your first time making them and they're not perfect, that's okay. You want to work on the flavor first. The only complications I see you guys having would be, ooh, that one's nice. The only complications I would see you guys having would be how hot your oil is, which is going to make a huge difference. And these should fry up anywhere from a minute to a minute and a half, if that, just until they get nice and golden. All right, I'm going to continue with the remaining sopapillas. Hang tight. And please be careful, it's hot, hot oil. You can sprinkle some powdered sugar or honey on your sopapilla, but for us, we like both. Some nice hot honey. Now I'm going to need somebody very special to be careful with their hands because the honey is hot to say I'm going to open this up for you guys so you can see how nice and fluffy and light this is going to be. That's delicious. Okay, I'll hurry so that we can make the cake. Now we get to make a quick ice cream cake. You're gonna place your sopapillas, and yes, they're gonna press and they're gonna get flat. And you might get sad, but that's okay. It's gonna taste good. Promise. Press them in there. Press your next one. And if it doesn't fit, you're gonna have to cut it. I'm gonna need a strong, handsome boyfriend here soon to scoop out the ice cream for me. Any volunteers?
Careful, just one.
You know what? I take that back.
Maybe a strong friend.
A strong friend, yes. So just start scooping your ice cream right on in. You guys don't have to see my struggle right now, so I'll show you what it looks like shortly. Once you align your ice cream, you just want to smooth it out. And next, you're going to add your following layers of your sopapillas. Press them down. And you keep it nice and tight in a plastic. Make sure that your container is freezable. Now, if you're going to use a regular casserole clear dish that I have, you're going to have to double your sopapillas and double your carton of ice cream. Press it, and put it in the freezer for at least an hour. And after an hour or so, you're ready to start slicing your cake. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. Today I'm going to show you how to transform your favorite agua fresca into a delicious breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or even a snack. I'm also going to show how you can prep this so that you can have this whenever you want. What you're going to do first is you're going to pick what agua fresca you're going to work with. And the ones that I always have on hand are the cucumber and watermelon. Why? Because they're more affordable. And guess what? If you're on a budget, this is something you're going to absolutely love. Now let's get started. You're going to add 6 to 7 cups of ice. You're going to add about 2.5 cups of your agua fresca. Looks about right there. And now we're going to blend until all of our ice is crushed and smooth. And boom, done. And there we have it, a beautiful raspado. A raspado is a Mexican slushie. So this is going to be in between an agua fresca bowl and a raspado bowl. These are very popular in Mexican culture, especially during the hot season or when you guys are trying to lose a little weight and still want to eat food. And you're going to want to use your favorite fruit for your topping. I have some strawberries. I have an orange and mango combination, pineapple, kiwis, and watermelon cubes. And honestly, you want to pick the fruit that's on sale. That's how this is going to work for your family and make it budget friendly. And in order to stay cool with the hot season, you're going to want to chop up some cucumber. They're affordable and they keep you nice and cool. Kind of like a cool mom, you know? And now you just want to have fun like when you were a kid. You're going to start piling on all your delicious fruit. And the wonderful part about this fruit is that it stays nice and fresh in your refrigerator. So if you want to infuse some of your water, you already have your fruit chopped up. I am going to warn you that this is very filling. So if you have a hearty eater, just tell them, oh, I made you a snack. All of a sudden, they're not going to want to have dinner. You know, the kids, when they get out of school, this is what you want to have ready for them. Gonna add our kiwi. Que rico. So yummy. A little bit of cucumber there. Sprinkle it everywhere. It's our little confetti. And you have choices. You can enjoy it just like this, or you can give it a little bit of a Mexican flair. And let me show you what I'm going to do. If you're going to keep your agua fresca bowl with just fruit, you can add a drizzle of your lechera and it's going to amplify the flavor. But if you're going to get it for a treat, you're going to need some chamoy and some tajin. I love Mexican candy, and this is another one that you can add. It does have a seed, and you kind of just eat around the skin with these. And you gotta add some tamarind candy. And these bowls work out great, especially during the hot season. You can just make them in advance and place them in your freezer and boom, done. You have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or even a snack. And then you're gonna seal the deal and place them right in your freezer. And if you don't want to use a disposable little container like this, you can also use a Pyrex glass with the lid. And yes, you can freeze these. And boom, done. Who's ready for a taste? I'm gonna need somebody very special to say ah. As always, Claude and I are wishing you the best. We absolutely adore you. We hope you enjoy this delicious treat. And on that one, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Adios. Do you want everything?
Yeah, everything except each other.
Okay. Chamoy and tajín?
Mm-hmm.
And we're back with another delicious recipe. Today we're making chicken al pastor. This recipe will have your mouth watering. Your taste buds will be dancing for joy with the flavors of your pineapple and your spices. A true bite in heaven. Let's start by adding our pre-soaked guajillo chilies and pasilla chilies into our blender. 3.5 ounces of achiote paste, 1 chipotle, 1 bay leaf, 4 garlic cloves, half a tablespoon of ground cumin, 1.5 tablespoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, 3 cloves, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, a little bit of rosemary, 1 tablespoon of Mexican oregano, 3/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar, 3/4 of a cup of pineapple juice, and 1 cup of orange juice. And now we're gonna blend until smooth. And boom, done. Time to marinate. Since we're cooking this on our stovetop, I went ahead and I sliced my chicken breast very, very thin. Now, if you're going to be grilling this chicken, I suggest you butterfly it, marinate, and then grill. Once you've properly sliced your chicken, you're going to add your marinade. And start giving that a loving mix. Some of you have time to marinate your chicken. The best flavor is going to be 12 to 24 hours. But if you're moving quickly and you need to feed your family, allow this to marinate for 1 hour before cooking. The flavors will still pull through. And lucky for us, I love to cook and I already marinated some of our chicken and now it's time for us to cook it. I allowed my cast iron to heat up for 4 minutes. The smoke just started coming out and now you're going to add a little bit of oil. Place your chicken on your hot cast iron and continue to cook for 4 minutes on one side. Do not move it because we want a lot of searing marks. And boom, done. I did cook my chicken in batches. Your max cook time for your chicken is going to be anywhere between 6 to 8 minutes. And then it's time to eat. But don't go just yet. We're going to do something really delicious right after I finish taking all this chicken out of my pan. I thinly sliced some pineapple and I'm just going to add that to the pan. And you just want to cook your pineapple for about 2 minutes just to get all that sweetness to come out of our pineapple. And boom, done. Time to make some tacos. If you're cooking on your stovetop, I suggest you allow your chicken to rest for a good 5 to 8 minutes before you serve. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say And just like that, you have a delicious, savory, marinated chicken.
Buen provecho.
Thank you. Healthy Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. I'm your host Steph, and today I'm going to show you how to make a popular Mexican dinner that everybody's going to love. I started with my chicken breast and I just sliced them in half into thinner strips. And now it's time to season it. Add half a tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a tablespoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. And now you want to fully combine your ingredients. Once you combine all your ingredients, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And again, you're going to combine your ingredients until everything is fully coated with that delicious olive oil. Once you fully combine all your ingredients, you're going to let this set for 10 to 15 minutes just so that all those seasonings can penetrate into our chicken. And I like to use the lid from one of my pans whenever I do anything on a plate. And while that sets, we're going to get started on our rice. I'm telling you, you're going to love this recipe because you can get it done. If you move quickly in the kitchen, you can get it done with 35 minutes. And if you take your time, 45 minutes, you'll get all this recipe done. Place your burner on a medium heat and add 1 tablespoon of oil. Next, you're going to add your rice.
Ooh, Rice Krispies treats.
That's how you know I washed my rice. Give that a loving mix and continue to toast your rice for about 2 to 3 minutes. Next, you're going to add your water and follow the suggested recommendations on your package. 1 tablespoon of Mexican oregano, 1 teaspoon of salt, and the juice of half a lime. If you don't have lime, you can use lemon juice. If you don't have lemon juice, use 1 teaspoon of vinegar. Bring your rice to a boil. Once you see a boil, you're going to lower your temperature and you're going to continue to cook as suggested on your package. While our rice is cooking, we're going to get started on our enchilada sauce. You're going to need 5 tomatillos, 1/4 of an onion, 2 garlic cloves. You'll need 2 roasted poblano peppers. Make sure to remove the skin, the stem, and the seeds. For those of you that want a little bit more smoky spice in your enchilada sauce, you can use 3 chiles de árbol, a small bunch of cilantro. And if you don't like it, I know you're out there, you might not like it, go ahead and skip it. 2 cups of chicken broth. And now you want to blend it until smooth. And boom, done. Let's cook it. Place your burner on a medium heat and add 1 tablespoon of oil. Next, you're going to add your enchilada sauce. And be careful because it might splash on you. Give your enchilada sauce a loving mix and continue to cook on a medium-low heat as we cook our chicken. Place your burner on a medium-high heat and allow it to warm up for 2 minutes if you're using a cast iron. If you're using a non-stick, allow it to warm up for about 45 seconds to a minute. Once you place your chicken on your pan, you're going to change your burner to a medium heat and you're going to continue to cook on that side without moving anything for 3 to 4 minutes. And just as we start cooking our chicken, our rice is ready. You can give that a loving mix and just set it to the side.
Oh, that chicken smells so good.
Next, you're going to flip your chicken. And you're going to continue to cook for another 3 to 4 minutes. If you notice that your pan's a little bit dry, just like it's seared our chicken here, not to worry, you can add a little bit of oil to your pan and continue cooking. Some of our pieces of chicken are ready, and when that happens, I like to pile it on top of each other. And then you'll notice that the bigger pieces just need a little bit more cook time. You're going to add half a large onion, whatever choice of colored peppers you have at home that you need to use, you're going to add those. And since my sister loves garlic, I'm going to go ahead and sear some garlic for her.
Thank you, sister.
I love you.
Love you too.
Sprinkle a little bit of salt. And continue cooking until they're nice and translucent. I'm going to also add a little red pepper because our salsa is pretty spicy and we don't need a jalapeno today. And as you cook, you want to start setting aside the pieces of chicken that are fully cooked. Our chicken and our onions are just about ready. We're going to start frying our corn tortilla into some hot oil and get started on making our simple traditional enchiladas. Once you fry your corn tortilla, you're going to drip off the excess oil and you're going to dip it right into your sauce. Add some queso fresco. Add some more enchilada sauce. Add your piece of chicken. And some freshly cooked pinto beans. Anytime I serve any combination like this, my family raves over it, so I hope that you guys enjoy this as much as we do. And I can always use a little bit extra of queso fresco, especially over our beans. And additionally, I like to add a little bit of salsa roja to your chicken, but you can use whatever hot sauce you have on hand. Just a super easy, tender piece of chicken, just for you. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say
Muy provecho. I already had a bite.
Thank you. I guarantee you the chicken on its own with a little bit of rice is perfect for any kind of dinner, but when you pair it and you go a little bit extra and make an enchilada for your family, they're gonna remember this dinner and ask for it again. Look away, I already started eating and this is absolutely delicious and I won't be stopping. I'm gonna eat this whole plate by myself.
Because baby, you're worth it.
Hello and welcome. Today we're making bean and cheese enchiladas for those hectic weeknights when time is limited. Let's start off by making an easy enchilada sauce. I've already removed the stems and the seeds from 8 guajillo chilies, and I placed them into some hot water for 10 minutes so that they can get nice and soft. You're gonna go ahead and place them into your blender, and you're gonna add 4 cups of chicken broth. If you don't have fresh chicken broth, that's okay. This is a quick and easy recipe, and I used 4 cups of hot water and 2.5 tablespoons of chicken bouillon. If you wanna add more flavor to your enchilada sauce, you can use 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. And I'm out of tomato sauce, so I'm gonna use 2 tomatoes. And since these are really tiny, I'm gonna end up using 6, but if you're using Roma tomatoes, you're gonna need 2. Or any regular sized tomato, you'll need 2. And now you're gonna blend until smooth. And before we continue with our enchilada sauce, I do wanna say, if you're not using a high-powered blender, you're gonna have to strain your chili, and that takes a little bit of time, but you can still get it done quickly. Place your burner on a medium heat and add 1 tablespoon of oil. Add your enchilada sauce. From the moment your sauce hits a boil, you're going to continue to cook for another 8 to 10 minutes and make sure to come and stir periodically. And while we're cooking our enchilada sauce, we're going to get started by blending our pinto beans. To your blender, you're going to add 4 cups of pinto beans, and it's about 3 cups of the broth, or you can use water. And now you're going to blend on a level 1 speed for about 20 seconds. And boom, done. Place your burner on a medium heat, and you're going to add 3 tablespoons of lard, or you can use 2 tablespoons of oil. Next, you're going to add 1/4 of an onion, and if you like spice, you can use a serrano or a jalapeno, and I suggest you use about half. This is just to add a little bit of an extra flavor to your beans. You're going to continue to cook your ingredients for another 2 to 3 minutes until you see your onions have gone translucent. Make sure not to burn this part, because if you do, you're going to have to start all over. Add your beans. And quickly combine all your ingredients. Adjust your salt to taste, and I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of salt. And once you fully combine your ingredients, you're going to continue to cook for another 8 to 10 minutes. You're going to look for a consistency that's very, very dry. We're making refried beans because those are the best ones to use for enchiladas. I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. Just make sure you come back and stir periodically. After about 8 minutes, you're going to notice that your beans start drying out. So it could take you 2 more minutes. It can take you 4. Just hang tight. I'll show you the consistency that you're looking for. Our enchilada sauce has been cooking for a total of 10 minutes and it's looking pretty good. I went ahead and I turned it off. It took me 12 minutes to get to this point, and when your beans look nice and creamy, and when you go like this with your spoon and you can see it's a little bit drier, it's not so runny, that's exactly where you want your beans to be at this point. Now if you want to add more flavor and make more traditional refried beans, which is what we're making today, you're going to add 1/4 of a cup of warmed up lard to your beans. And you're going to give that a loving mix. and just keep mixing for another 2 minutes. And there we have it, beautiful creamy refried beans. Go ahead and turn your burner off, and then you want to turn your oven on at 380 degrees so it can be nice and hot to melt the cheese off of these enchiladas. I showed you how to keep your enchiladas from crumbling when you have weak tortillas on our last video. I'll link that recipe in the description area. But what you want to do if you're working with weak tortillas, do not dip it into your sauce because they're going to get soggy. So we're just going to go right into this and fill it with some beans. And I just want to eat these beans by the handful. So you're going to take some beans. If you have super hearty eaters, another thing you can do is add some chorizo to your refried beans, and your kids are going to love you for it. You're going to take your favorite Mexican cheese blend, add a drop of sauce, and roll it up. These enchiladas are from humble beginnings, but let me tell you, they're very, very popular in Mexican households, especially towards the end of the month, because we always have refried beans available, and I tend to freeze my enchilada sauce, so it's super easy to make. This recipe will yield you anywhere from a dozen to 14 enchiladas. And now you want to go ahead and pour your sauce right on over. Add some more cheese to the top. And now you're going to bake anywhere from 15 to 18 minutes. When you see the cheese is nice and melty, go ahead and take it out. You can serve your bean and cheese enchiladas with a little bit of Mexican rice, lettuce, and pico de gallo, and some Mexican sour cream on the side. And that way, when you're eating your enchiladas, you can decide about how much you want per your bite. I'm going to need somebody very special to say And there you have it, quick and easy bean and cheese enchiladas. And I know that we took our time to make everything fresh today, but I am known to keep my enchilada sauce in the freezer, and we always have refried beans available. So whenever it's time to make this recipe, it's super easy to make. You can't go wrong with beans and cheese, and then with enchilada sauce, absolutely delicious. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. I'm your host Steph, and today I'm going to show you how to make your favorite steak dinner from your local Mexican restaurant. And to start off, we're going to use your favorite cut of beef. You guys know that I lean more towards chuck because it's like ribeye's cousin and it's a lot more affordable, but you're going to make it comfortable for your home. You want to season your beef with some black pepper, garlic powder, salt, olive oil, and you want to fully combine your ingredients. And nobody wants a piece of steak that's tough to cut through, so you're going to add baking soda, cornstarch, and you want to combine all your ingredients and make sure that every single piece of your beef is coated. Once you've combined your ingredients, you're going to let this set for 10 to 15 minutes. Place your burner on a medium-high heat and drizzle your favorite oil. Once your oil gets nice and hot, you're going to add your onions and your roasted poblano pepper. I have a combination of roasted poblano and Anaheim because my family loves Anaheim peppers. And your garlic. Give that a loving mix and make sure that you're coating all of your ingredients with the delicious olive oil. Sprinkle a little bit of salt. And you just want to continue cooking until your onions are translucent. And if you have a guest that loves the spice, go ahead and add a serrano or a jalapeno. Give or take 4 to 6 minutes, your onions are nice and translucent, and as you can see, my jalapeno needs a little bit more searing, so I'm going to go ahead and place that into my pan. And we're going to get started on cooking our steak. Our burner is still on a medium-high heat, and we're going to drizzle just a little bit more olive oil. I'm going to heat up our pan for a good minute, minute and a half. Next, you're going to place your beef pieces on your cast iron, and you're going to cook it for 5 to 8 minutes. We're going to do 5 minutes on one side, we're going to flip it, and then the remaining 3 minutes. Next, you want to flip your steak and your jalapeno. Wow, beautiful. You want to fry your corn tortilla, and then you're going to place it in your enchilada sauce. Qué rico. And then you want to add your steak. Last but not least, a little bit of avocado and queso fresco for our beans. And your favorite salsa. And that's what's beautiful about your steak dinner. You get the best of all worlds. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say
Buen provechito.
Thank you. Mmm. Mmm.
Is that a Fanta?
No, it's not a Fanta. It's a fake Fanta, okay? I'm not drinking soda till my birthday. And for those of you that are in charge of your kitchen, this is a recipe that you want to make when you're completely stressed out and you've had it with your family. Although my family is really sweet and kind, sometimes I don't want to hear a peep at dinner. And this dinner right here is going to have them hopping from side to side, from portion to portion here. And they're just going to be absolutely quiet at dinner time. And let's not forget, those hearty eaters are going to love you even more. So look away because it's going to get dangerous. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. Today we're going to make gorditas filled with tinga de pollo. And tinga de pollo is chicken in a nice savory chili sauce. And this is something we have at least once a month in a Mexican household. And if you're lucky, you get to have it twice. Now let's go over our ingredients. For this delicious recipe, you'll need 2 shredded chicken breast, 8 ounces of chorizo, 3 cups of instant corn masa, and 2 to 3 cups of water. Now to your blender, you're going to add 6 chiles guajillos. Make sure that you're soaking your guajillo chiles, remove the stems and the seeds, and it usually takes about 10 minutes to get them nice and soft. 2 tomatoes. If you're using Roma tomatoes, you're going to need 2. If you're using juicy large tomatoes, you're going to need 2. And if you have small little tiny ones that you need to get through, you're going to need 4. 1/4 of an onion, 2 garlic cloves, 2 chipotles in adobo sauce. If you're just looking for a mild spice, only add 1 chipotle pepper because you never know how spicy they are. And today, this batch that I have is really spicy. I usually use 2, but today I'm going to use 1. 1 tablespoon of piloncillo. This little piece here is called piloncillo, also known as panocha. And if you don't have access to this, you can use 1 tablespoon of molasses. And if you really don't have either, you can use half a tablespoon of sugar, and it's going to balance out the sweetness with the spice, and it's going to be perfect. 1 bay leaf, 2 cups of chicken broth, and the combination for chicken broth that I'm using today is 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon and some warm water. 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and now you want to blend until smooth. And boom, done. Let's get started on our masa. We're going to start by adding our instant corn masa. I'm using maseca today. And I love making gorditas because after you get familiar with the process about the 3rd or 4th time, it becomes super easy for you to do. To your instant corn masa, you're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Mix that around. And you're going to need 2 to 3 cups of water. The reason I say that, it depends on your humidity, if you're in a dry area. So we're going to start with about 1 cup, and we're going to start combining. I should really say it's going to be 2 to 2.5 cups of water. I don't think I've ever gone to the full 3 cups. Maybe when I was in Nevada, but everywhere else it's been a little bit shy under 2.5 cups. We can safely say that I used 2 1/4 of a cup of water. And you just want to make sure that you combine everything well. This is totally different than making flour tortillas, so this should only take you about 1 minute to 2 minutes to do. You can feel it's wet to the touch, but it's not overly hydrated, and that's exactly what you're looking for. The dough should feel like when you get out of the shower and you have wet skin and you're drying off. That's about how hydrated this is. So you're going to go ahead and place that back into your bowl, and you're going to let this set for about 10 to 15 minutes. Place your burner on a medium heat and drizzle a little bit of oil. Next, you're gonna add your chorizo. And for those of you that struggle with chorizo, that are new to cooking, it should take you 6 to 8 minutes to cook your chorizo. I'm gonna break down our chorizo and I'm gonna cook it for a good 5 minutes. Because then we're gonna be adding our onions. So don't skip too far ahead. I want you to watch me make chorizo. I'm just kidding.
Like watching paint drying.
Yeah.
I love chorizo.
Me too. Chorizo is a staple in a Mexican household. It's comforting. It's considered comfort food at this point. It's been 4 minutes and now you're going to add your onions. Give that a loving mix and we're going to continue to cook our ingredients for another 4 minutes. Next, you're going to add your chicken. And my sister was kind enough to shred 3 cups of chicken for us today. Thank you, sis.
You're welcome.
Give that a loving mix. You know, whenever I make tinga in our home, my whole family is just so happy that day. No matter what I use this filling for, it could be burritos, tostadas, but today they know they're getting gorditas and they're all super excited. Add your blended ingredients. And we're going to continue to cook on a medium-low heat for 10 to 15 minutes. And by that time, we're going to be done making our gorditas and we're going to be ready to fill. Make sure to come and stir periodically. Now, I'm going to keep a more traditional way of making our gorditas today. And you're going to grab a little piece of masa. And for reference, I have 1/4 of a measuring cup. And it has a little dome. That's about the size that's going to work for the gorditas. Dip my hands in a little bit of water. Make a little ball. And believe me, in Mexican cooking, you'll never get those precise measurements. That's not how it works. But I love you guys enough to take the extra step because I want all of you to eat gorditas. Perfect. And now let's go place it on our burner and get to cooking. Make sure that your burner is nice and hot. I currently have it on a medium-high heat and I've warmed it up for a good 4 minutes. After about 1.5 minutes, you're going to see that steam's coming out. That means that it's going to be time for you to flip it. And you want to cook it on that other side for another 1.5 minutes to 2. And in the meantime, you're going to go ahead and give your tinga a loving mix. You'll know your gordita's ready because you'll see that one side starts puffing up a little bit, and it should take you anywhere from 4 to 5 minutes to get to this point with your gordita. And there you have it, a nice little pocket to fill. I'm going to go ahead and set our gordita to the side and I'm going to continue with the remaining ones. I would say if you have the time, connect with your ancestors or mine and try them by hand. And using a plastic knife does work a lot better. And if you're going to ask me which one I prefer, I'm going to say the handmade ones. And boom, done. We're ready to fill. We have a total of 7 gorditas. As you can see, these are the ones that you press and these are the ones that are made by hand. And there's actually one more that's missing, but Claude already had one. So you're going to have 6 to 8 gorditas with the amounts that I provided for you. You're going to take your gordita and you're going to fill it with your tinga. And then you take a big bite and you're done. I'm just kidding. You're going to want toppings for this. You're going to add some finely shredded iceberg lettuce. You're going to sprinkle some cotija over the top. And boom, done. You have a delicious gordita de tinga de pollo. Just absolutely delicious and so comforting. And guess what? I'm going to need somebody very special to say And optional, I love my tinga with some purple pickled onions. Oh! So does everybody else. Mmm. That is absolutely delicious.
Yeah, they came out fire.
Look away.
Here comes our addiction week with the gorditas, because once we make them, we're not going to stop.
And once you get to making gorditas, you're right. All of a sudden, you just want to eat gorditas all the time. And there's so many different options and fillings for this particular recipe. But you can't go wrong with making some tinga. I mean, I can't even talk because I just want to eat this whole thing. When you have tinga at home, it's like having a bean burrito. You just want to eat it all the time. And then when you put it into a gordita, well, you know, it's game over. I'm going to go into a food coma because I want like 3. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. I'm your host, Steph, and today I'm going to show you how to make an easy Poblano vinaigrette. We're going to start off by adding 1 roasted poblano into your blender, a small bunch of cilantro, 2 tablespoons of pineapple vinegar, 1 tablespoon of lime juice, half a cup of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of coconut aminos, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cumin, half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of salt, and now you want to blend until smooth. Oh yeah! And boom, done. Once you blend your ingredients, you're going to add 1 roasted and minced garlic and half a tablespoon of Mexican oregano. Using a salad dressing little jar like this, very vintage of me. And if you guys want one like this, Cloud will link it in the description area for you. And you're just going to pour your dressing right into your jar. And boom, done. Time to make a delicious salad. Once you're done blending and pouring your dressing into your favorite little container, you're going to let this set on your counter for 2 hours. Do not refrigerate until all those flavors are well combined. You're going to see a little separation, and that's okay. You can always shake it up. And you start assembling your salad with your favorite vegetables or ingredients. I'm going to add some carrots. Don't give me that look, Cloud.
You've turned me into a fan.
Yay! Some cucumbers. I'm going to add some black beans, corn, and some chicken that we grilled over the weekend. Yummy. You just want to shake it off, shake it off. That song just never gets old, you know? And then you're going to pour your delicious Poblano vinaigrette. You get a little bit of a sweet tang from it, but you don't want it to be too citrusy. It's just perfect if you're using pineapple vinegar. But if you don't have that, use apple cider and it's going to be a little bit more tart. Ooh, I can't stop. I'm just pouring. Ah! And you can add some of your cotija cheese. And boom, done. Who's ready for a bite? I'm gonna need somebody very special to say ah. If you're looking for a little bit of spice from your vinaigrette, you can add a roasted serrano, jalapeno, or a chiltepin. Blend it and boom, done. But other than that, this is a very light dressing. It's super digestible and easy on your tummy and just delicious. The flavor of the poblano really does pull through with this recipe, so I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. That's so good. And you'll have to excuse me. Once I start with the salad, I just start munching, and this is a perfect salad. Make sure to get some grilled chicken. My mouth's salivating. You have to excuse me. But the chicken that I used for this particular salad is from the chicken árabe, and I'll link that in the description area. And I hope you guys are enjoying my take on delicious, healthy recipes. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. I'm your host, Steph, and if you're looking for a healthier dinner for your family, today I'm going to show you how I'm going to make stuffed zucchinis with a delicious enchilada sauce over the top. I started steaming our zucchinis, and you don't want to steam your zucchinis for more than 10 to 15 minutes. We want them luke soft, if that's a thing. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my burner off, and we're going to start prepping them. You're going to take your zucchini and you're going to be really careful because it is steamy. You're gonna slice it right through the middle. And stuffed zucchinis are so much fun to me. This is something I grew up eating, and till this day I enjoy them. And with any spoon, you'll be able to scoop out all of the seeds. Once you scoop out all the seeds, you're gonna see that you have a little bit of broth. Go ahead and place that right in that bowl. Some of you might be wondering, what are we gonna do with the seeds and the filling and the fibers from your zucchini? You have two options. You can set it to the side and use it for a soup, or you can chop it up finely and add it to your filling. But if you're just getting started and eating healthy, you don't wanna overwhelm yourself with the vegetables because you're gonna get turned off. So to not turn you off and encourage you to eat a little bit healthier, we're gonna keep these out for today. Once you're done slicing your zucchinis, we're gonna get started on our ground beef filling. Place your burner on a medium heat and drizzle about half a tablespoon of oil. Allow your pan to get hot for a good 30 to 40 seconds. Add one chopped onion and cook until your onion's translucent. Next, you're gonna add your ground beef, and my ground beef is semi thawed out, so we're just gonna work with it. So while your beef continues to thaw out in your pan, you can add a little bit of your seasonings. I'm just going to use a little bit of salt and pepper today. We're keeping it very, very light. It's going to be super digestible. And after 5 minutes, our beef is nice and thawed out. And now we're gonna add a little bit of magic. I know ground beef is delicious, but we're gonna add a little bit more magic. You're gonna take your enchilada sauce, and I would say give or take about 3/4 of a cup, and you're gonna pour it right on in. If you need a delicious and perfect enchilada sauce recipe, I'm gonna link the recipe that I used today. And by I mean Cloud. Thank you, Cloud.
You're welcome.
Turn your burner off and give it a loving mix. And we are ready to fill our lovely enchilada boats. For those of you that often request our veggie recipes, make sure you come back next week or subscribe and set your notifications, because I have a recipe that I've been trying to get out to you for a while, and I think that even vegetable haters are gonna love that one. So now let's go ahead and start filling our beautiful boats. And you want to use a small spoon, that way you avoid spilling everywhere. So after you try this recipe the first time and you notice that your family likes it, the second time that you make it, you can make an extra tray and place it in your freezer, and then you can make it for an easy dinner later on in the week. Even as individual containers in the freezer, you can pack it for a lunch too. You just microwave it and boom, done. Next, you're gonna pour your enchilada sauce all over, and if it drips to the bottom of your tray, that's okay. Just make sure that all your zucchini is nice and covered. And your last step is Mexican cheese blend. And the super easy part is you're gonna bake it at 400 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. And boom, done. Our enchilada boats are ready. I'm going to show you the best way to present this to your family. Once you get fancy on them, they're not going to complain about anything. They're just going to say, wow, Mom, what did you make? Add your enchilada sauce right on the bottom of your plate. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say And there you have it, a super easy and delicious dinner that your whole family can enjoy. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. I'm your host Steph, and today I'm going to show you how to make Pozole Verde. We're going to keep it traditional yet comfortable for my home. I started by boiling our chicken. Now in this delicious pot I have 2 chicken legs with a thigh. That has the most flavor for this broth. I also have half of an onion that you can see fell apart because it's so nice and tender in here. I used 6 bay leaves, 6 tablespoons of chicken bouillon, plus 1 tablespoon of salt. And I'll make sure to add all of that in the description for you step by step. Once your chicken broth is done, you're going to take out the garlic and the onion and you're going to place that into your blender. And at this point, you can also start removing your bay leaves. Now let's go over the remaining ingredients you're going to need for this recipe. 1 large can of pre-cooked hominy, 6 chicken breast, 1 cup of roasted pumpkin seeds, 8 tomatillos, 3 roasted poblano peppers, 2 roasted jalapenos, 1 cup of baby spinach, half a bunch of cilantro, the leaves of 2 radishes, 1 tablespoon of Mexican oregano, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. In our blender, we have our onions and our garlic. We're going to add our tomatillos. You're going to cut off the leaves of your red radish and you're going to toss them right on in. Also, if you have access to epazote, this would be the time when you add epazote. And unfortunately, I'm unfortunate today. I don't have access to epazote. Gonna add your cilantro, baby spinach. And baby spinach just gives it a subtle flavor. It's not as strong as a fully grown spinach, so it's going to be up to you what you decide to use. Jalapenos, your roasted poblano peppers. Make sure to remove the stems and the seeds. And if you want to add a little bit more flavor to your pozole, I suggest using an Anaheim pepper or a hatch chili. 1 cup of roasted pumpkin seeds. And you want to blend everything with 2 cups of your delicious chicken broth. And now we're going to blend until smooth. And boom, done. Let's pour this into our pot of delicious chicken broth. I'm going to use a little bit of this delicious broth to place back into the blender, give it a little shake and pour it back in here because we want all that flavor in this pozole. Place your burner on a high heat and bring everything up to a boil. Once you've reached a boil, you're going to gently add your hominy. And your chicken. If you notice, I cubed the chicken because my family was complaining that they do not want to see shredded chicken in their pozole. They had a big old fit, so I'm going to give my family what they want. Cubed chicken for their pozole. Add your Mexican oregano. Teaspoon of black pepper. And you're going to give that a loving mix.
Such a beautiful dish, right?
It's a gorgeous dish. This is perfect for a celebration, for a birthday, for a rainy day when your family doesn't want to have caldo de pollo. You know they're going to start crying. So this dish is just perfect, especially like spring and summer. And then it leads into fall when you have your pozole rojo. Now you're going to place your burner on a medium-low heat and you're going to continue to boil for another 25 to 30 minutes. About 5 minutes before your pozole is ready, you want to take 1 to 2 tablespoons of maseca, instant corn masa. You're going to add enough water to make a little bit of a paste. It can be a little bit runnier too, and you're going to add it right into your pot for a little bit of thickness and flavor. And boom, done. Our pozole verde is ready. Now who's hungry? Who wants a bowl?
Me.
And see, we get to satisfy everybody with this pozole. You have, you know, the grown folks that want the leg, the full-on chicken with the bone. And then you have the younger generations that don't want to deal with that. Everybody's going to be happy. We have our hominy that's fully cooked, nice, soft, and tender. Everything's just perfect. And now we're ready to serve. And then you get to top your pozole however you would like. We're gonna add a little bit of the lettuce. And this recipe, some people make it with lettuce. I just personally like it on the top instead of in the broth. Sprinkle a little bit of cilantro and onions, because you just can't get enough. A little bit of radishes and some lime juice. And if you became Sonoran like Cloud and I are, you're gonna grab some chiltepinas for spice. Just sprinkle it over the top. Now for me personally, I cannot have pozole if I don't have a tostada with crema. It's my favorite. It's just Mexican table cream with some black pepper, and you can sprinkle a little bit of salt. Now I'm gonna need somebody very special that went to work even though it's raining outside to say
That's thunder.
It is thundering where we live. It's been raining for the past few days, and what better way to enjoy the rain with some hot soup.
Buen provecho.
Thank you. That is so delicious. This is a recipe that even those of you that are on a diet and are watching what you're eating can enjoy. So don't stress too much. You have a lot of nutrients in here, and you can fill your lovely bellies. And when I say lovely bellies, I'm talking about those big ones that you can rub and they're just cozy.
Delicious.
Those are the nice rainy bellies that we're talking about. This is the best pozole that I've made thus far. I hope you guys like it. Now look away because it's going to get dangerous. Hello and welcome. Today you're going to learn a new way to enjoy your beef stew. Now let's get this recipe on the road by slicing our beef. Today I'm using New York beef loin, but if you don't have the New York beef loin, you can also use chuck or ribeye. I'm gonna take off the fat from our beef, and I'm gonna be using that for chicharrones. If you've never had beef chicharrones, I'll link a recipe in the description, and it's perfect for tacos. I find that when I'm making any kind of beefy stew, my family will start crying about, oh, it's too much fat, and you kind of just want to bite into it. So let's give our family what they want. And that's what they sound like when they're complaining, oh, I don't. And you just want to cube your beef. If you have a lot of little ones at home, you can make them into smaller little cubes. But my boys are hunky and they require big bites. And I'm hunky too. And then you just want to place that into your bowl. Now to your 2 pounds of beef, you're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper, half a tablespoon of salt, 2 minced garlic cloves, half a tablespoon of olive oil, and you're going to fully combine all your ingredients. Once you fully combine your ingredients, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. Give that a loving mix, and once you're done mixing your beautiful beef, you're going to let this set for a minimum of 10 minutes. And while we allow this to set, we're going to go over the vegetables that I'll be using for today's stew. We're going to be sauteing half of an onion and 1 tomato. And for the vegetables, you want to use your favorite vegetables. I have half a cup of corn, 13 green beans, an Anaheim pepper, 1 large carrot, 1 medium zucchini, and 1/4 of a cabbage. You're gonna need 3 to 4 cups of bone broth. If you don't have freshly made bone broth, that's okay. I'm gonna leave a tip and a suggestion for you in the description area. And what would a stew be without some potatoes? I have 2 russet potatoes here, and now it's time to get cooking. Place your burner on a medium-high heat and allow it to warm up for 3 minutes if you're using a cast iron. If you're using a different style pan, go ahead and allow it to warm up for 1.5 minutes. Once your cast iron gets nice and hot, you're going to add 1/2 tablespoon of olive oil. Next, you're going to add your beef and you're going to sear for a good 3 to 4 minutes. Make sure not to move anything around for the next 4 minutes. Hang tight. After 4 minutes, you're going to add your onions and your tomato. You're going to give it a loving mix and you're going to continue to cook for 4 more minutes. Next, you're going to add your potatoes, corn, and your remaining veggies. I know some of you are looking at this and you're looking scared because of the vegetables. Don't, it's delicious. You're gonna love it. Now give all your ingredients a loving and gentle mix. Add your beef broth. Half a tablespoon of Mexican oregano. Go ahead and give that another loving mix. Once your pot reaches a boil, you're going to switch your burner to a medium heat and continue to cook for 30 minutes. Make sure to come and stir periodically. I don't want anybody to burn this stew because it's delicious and you deserve to try it. Give or take 30 to 35 minutes, our stew is ready. You want to go ahead and turn your burner off. And you want to sprinkle a little bit of chopped cilantro. Give that a loving mix. And we have a little bit of a cold front where I live, so this recipe is going to be perfect to warm up my family. And just like that, we're ready to serve a delicious beef and vegetable stew. Make sure that your beans are nice and smooth. That way it's easier for your body to digest. And this stew pairs great with some delicious Mexican red rice. A little queso fresco, and we're ready to eat. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say And just like that, you have a beautiful and delicious beef stew to serve your family. And I don't want you to feel limited and use the exact vegetables that I did. Sometimes you have a lot of vegetables that you need to use that are in your refrigerator, and this is a perfect recipe for that. This stew is absolutely delicious, and biting into the corn kernels really amplifies the flavor of this stew, and I know it's going to be a good seller for your kids. Make sure that you make a little bit extra so you can pack yourself some for lunch or your loved ones. I love a good beefy stew. That's really good. Ooh, that's creamy and cheesy. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. Today we're making Enchiladas Suizas. And before we get started with this recipe, let's go over our cheese options. The best cheese to use for this recipe would be your queso manchego, and I don't have access to that right now, but the next best option is going to be Munster cheese. You can usually find this at your deli, and most places now have it nice and packed up for you in the refrigerated section. Now, if you don't have access to that, you want to pick a cheese that's white and melts beautifully. So one of the cheeses that I tend to use when I don't have access to any of the cheese is going to be mozzarella, or, you know, queso chihuahua. You can't fail with that one. Wait, we're not done. We're going to go over your cream options. The best option for this would be your crema fresca mexicana. Whatever brand you get is going to work for this. But if you don't have access to your crema mexicana, you can use heavy whipping cream or some half and half. Now come over to the stove so I can show you what I pre-made in advance, just so that it's easy for you when it's time to make this for dinner. I boiled 2 chicken breasts with onion, garlic, thyme, and bay leaf. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take our onion and we're going to place it into our blender. You're also going to place your garlic cloves, and I'm going to take my chicken breast out so my sister can start shredding them. My sister is our family chicken shredder, and she just does a really good job. You want to save 2 cups of your freshly made chicken broth. Cheers! Ooh. And then you're going to set it to the side. In another pot, I boiled our jalapenos, and you're going to place those in your blender too. Now when you're boiling your tomatillos, you want to make sure that you boil them until they're soft, but you don't want to boil them until they burst, because if they burst, you run the chances of making everything taste bitter. Go ahead and add your tomatillos into your blender. Next, you're going to add half a bunch of cilantro. Add your Mexican crema. You're going to need anywhere from 15 to 16 ounces. It really just depends on the container that you're purchasing, but you can't go wrong. Just going to make it nice and creamy. Chicken broth, roasted sesame seeds, 1 teaspoon of salt, and you can always adjust to taste or use some chicken bouillon. And now we're going to blend until smooth. Blend for a good minute, and that means that you're going to be dancing for a whole minute. That means that you can also have an extra enchilada because you exercised. And boom, done. Let's cook our sauce. Place your burner on a medium heat and add your blended, delicious Enchiladas Suizas sauce. You're going to continue to cook your sauce for another 15 to 18 minutes. Make sure to come and stir periodically. Now with your corn tortillas, you never know, depending on the brand, they might fall apart, and I'm going to show you today how to prevent that from happening. You're going to warm up your tortillas, and you're going to warm up each side for about 10 to 15 seconds. You want to get a lot of that moisture out, because that's what's going to cause it to sog up. The only moisture you want for your tortillas is from your sauce. And you want to do that with all the tortillas that you're going to be using for your enchiladas. After I'm done warming up, slightly toasting our tortillas, I like to spread them out like this. That way they can air out and they don't absorb more moisture. And next, you're going to just slightly fry your tortillas in oil, about give or take 5 to 10 seconds on each side, if that. Just a quick little dip in the oil. And you want to continue with the remaining tortillas. Our sauce is done. It's creamy, it's beautiful. At this point, you can taste your salt content and adjust to your liking. But honestly, don't go too heavy on the salt. You don't need it for this dish. It should be very light for you. You notice that when we first put our sauce in here, you get a lot of the foam at the top. Well, you're going to know your sauce is done when you get rid of that foam by cooking it, and it's going to be nice and creamy just like this. Our sauce is perfect. Let's start rolling our enchiladas. Take your tortilla and quickly dip it into your delicious sauce. Add your chicken. And you want to fill your enchiladas depending on the size of your tortillas. I've noticed that with the pandemic, a lot of things have changed. And the tortillas are something that I notice are a lot smaller. So just adjust to that. Don't overdo it like I tend to. Take it easy and roll it up. You're going to place this part facing down, and you want to continue dipping, filling, and rolling. And next, you just want to cover your enchiladas with our delicious sauce. Place your cheese right over the center on the top, just like this. Right when you're done assembling your enchiladas, you want to bake them in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes until your cheese is nice and melted. And boom, done! Our enchiladas are ready. Ooh, that's creamy and cheesy. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say Growing up, when we had the opportunity to go out to eat to a Mexican restaurant, my favorite thing to order was Enchiladas Suizas. I used to think it looks so complicated, but once you start making them, you'll see how easy it is to make it right in your home. So I hope you guys enjoy this as much as my family and I do. They're still a favorite. I'm really glad that I found the Munster cheese because the combination of how creamy the Munster cheese gets when it melts with this sauce is absolutely delicious. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. I'm your host Steph, and you already know how much I love enchiladas, and the combo I have for you today is gonna blow your chanclas off. We're going to be using our Instant Pot to cook our carnitas today because this is going to be a super quick and easy recipe. Make sure that you keep your Instant Pot on warm, and you're going to add 1/4 of a cup of milk, 2 minced garlics, 1 bay leaf, the juice of 1 orange. Some of you might be wondering why I'm adding milk to our carnitas, and that is to tenderize and keep everything juicy and soft. Add 2 tablespoons of pork fat. And if you're at a Mexican market, if you go to the butcher area, you're gonna find your pork fat in a little container like this. Sometimes it's a clear one, and it has all the drippings from previous carnitas. And let me tell you, it adds so much flavor that you don't wanna skip it. And in order to get this recipe to cook quickly, you wanna cut your pork pieces into smaller little bits, just like this. And I'm gonna be adding 4 pounds. I want a lot of carnitas today. This is a little bit different than how I made it previously in our Instant Pot, but let me tell you, you guys are going to fall in love with this new style of making it.
Well, I want to know why, because I'm currently in the mood to fall in love.
Okay, so previously we sear, cook, and then sear. Today we're going to cook and then sear. Still the same beautiful flavor that we all love. So now you're going to add 1/2 tablespoon of salt. Give your beautiful pork a loving mix to make sure that each piece gets coated with our mixture. Seal the deal. And now you're going to pressure cook for 35 minutes with a quick release. Now while our carnitas are cooking in the pressure cooker, we're going to get started on our salsa verde. You're going to need at least 8 tomatillos, but if they end up being a little bit small, you're going to need between 8 and 10. So go ahead and add all of those to your blender. A small bunch of cilantro, 1 jalapeno, 1/4 of an onion, and for those of you that love spice, you're going to add 2 chiles de árbol, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of water, and now you're going to blend until smooth. And boom, done. Time to cook it. Place your burner on a medium heat and add 1/2 tablespoon of oil. Allow your oil to get hot for a good 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, you're going to add your blended salsa. Mix it with love and continue to cook for another 5 minutes. Make sure to come and stir periodically. And after 5 minutes, you have a beautifully cooked salsa verde. But hang tight because we're not done yet. You want to take 1/2 tablespoon of Mexican oregano, grind it up in your hands, and just drop it like it's hot. This is going to add so much flavor to your salsa, so if you have any left over, it's going to be perfect for dipping your chips in it. Combine that with love. And set it to the side while we start frying up our tortillas. For the method that we'll be doing today, I want you to fry your tortillas for 20 to 30 seconds on each side. And once your carnitas are fully cooked in your pressure cooker, you're gonna put them through a strainer. We wanna remove all the excess liquid. That way when we're frying, we don't get too much popping. We get straight to some crispy carnitas. For a good crisp, I'm gonna be using my cast iron. So go ahead and place your cast iron on a high heat and allow it to warm up for a good 3 minutes. Once you get your pan nice and hot just like you're gonna add 3 to 4 tablespoons of pork fat.
Thank you.
Cloud's all smiles back here, you guys. Watch out.
Ooh, because you complimented me twice today.
Well, I have a beautiful sister. I mean, I can't just sit here and stare at you.
Wow.
I mean, I can, but everybody should know.
You're too kind. I'm excited for this food.
Oh, me too. I'm so hungry. And keep cooking on a medium-high heat for another 5 to 8 minutes until you get the crispiness that we all love from carnitas. And boom, done. Our carnitas are ready for us to assemble them into some delicious enchiladas. Take your corn tortilla and dip it into your salsa verde. Fill it with your desired amount of carnitas, queso fresco, onion and cilantro combo, and roll it up. Add more salsa to the top, some crema fresca, some more onions and cilantro, and some delicious pickled purple onions. And boom, done. Who's ready for a bite? I'm gonna need somebody very special to say ah. And just like that, you have some delicious carnitas, enchiladas. I think you guys are in for quite a treat. I've had these many times and I'm just happy that I'm able to share this with you today. So please come back and let me know what you think once you've made them. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. I'm your host, Steph, and today I'm making you a delicious tuna casserole. Remember, if you don't like tuna, you can make this comfortable for your home by using some chicken. Before you start this recipe, preheat your oven at 375 degrees and make sure to bring your pot of salted water to a boil. You'll need 2 cans of tuna, 12 ounces of egg noodles, 3 chipotles in adobo sauce, half of an onion, 2 green onions, a small bunch of cilantro, 2 garlic cloves, 1/4 of a cup of tomato sauce, half a tablespoon of Mexican oregano, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 3½ cups of milk, 1 cup of mozzarella cheese, 1/4 of a cup of cotija cheese, 4 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of tomato chicken bouillon, 1½ tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Let's start by removing the seeds from your chipotle peppers. You don't have to remove all the seeds, just try to remove as many of the seeds as you can. And once you're done removing your seeds, you want to chop your chipotle into small little bits. And just keep chopping until it's nice and fine, just like you, Views Club. Place your pot on a medium heat and add 2 tablespoons of butter. Once your butter melts, you want to add your onions and your garlic. Sprinkle a pinch of salt, give that a loving mix, and continue to cook for another 2 to 3 minutes until you see your onions have gone translucent. Add your all-purpose flour, give that a loving mix, and continue to cook for another 40 seconds. Next, you're going to add your cold milk. And make sure that everything is fully combined. And by using cold milk, you prevent any of the lumpiness you usually get from your roux. So just continue and allow your pot to come to a boil. Next, you're going to add your tomato sauce, your chicken bouillon. If you don't have access to tomato chicken bouillon, you can always use the regular one. Mexican oregano, your finely chopped chipotle, black pepper. Place your temperature on low and give that a loving mix. Make sure everything is well combined. And lastly, you want to turn your burner off and add your cheese. And you guys already know, if you have Vermont cheddar, go ahead and add that.
Vermont's on our bucket list.
It really is. I can't wait to go. I'm going to buy a lot of cheddar there.
The dairy folks are going to love you over there.
I hope so. Now for your egg noodles, you want to bring your pot of water to a vigorous boil. You're going to add half of your portion of your noodles. Give your noodles a loving mix and wait until your pot comes to another vigorous boil. And now you're going to add the rest of your egg noodles. And continue to cook for another 9 to 11 minutes. Make sure that you're following the instructions on your package. To your panko crumbs, you want to add 2 tablespoons of butter. And make sure every single panko crumb is coated with butter. Add your cotija cheese. And if you don't have access to cotija cheese, that's okay. You can use Parmesan cheese. Fully combine all your ingredients and set it to the side. Take your strained noodles and add it to a big bowl. Add your delicious sauce. Fold your sauce into your noodles. You don't want any of your noodles to break. Add your tuna, green onions, cilantro. Gently fold everything in until you see everything is well combined. Once you're done fully combining your ingredients, you want to make sure that you butter your casserole dish. Pour everything into your casserole dish. Every last bit of it. Don't you leave anything behind.
That bowl looks delicious. It's like the chocolate bowl for kids.
It is. It's so good. You can taste it right now, and it's just absolutely amazing.
But we're going to take it to the top.
We're going to make you wait today. Smooth everything out. Sprinkle your panko crumb mixture. For those of you that are going to be using Ritz crackers for the topping, I would say place a foil over your casserole to avoid the burning of your Ritz crackers. Bake your casserole in an oven at 375 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes. At 25 minutes, you're going to take a little peek and you're going to make sure that you haven't burned your topping. And as soon as you see that you have that golden color over the top, you're going to take it out and then we're going to serve. And boom, done. Our delicious casserole is ready. Optional but not necessary, you can add some crema fresca to the top. And you can garnish with some chives. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say
Buen provecho.
Thank you. Oh wow. This casserole is absolutely delicious. You get the comfort from the bite of the noodles and the creamy sauce. You know, all the flavors here just combine well so perfectly. I hope you guys love it as much as our family. This is one of those casseroles that's going to leave you speechless. It's going to have everybody silent at your dinner table. But as you can see, I'm almost done eating here. So go ahead and look away because I'm going to get seconds and it's going to get dangerous. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. I'm your host, Steph, and it's raining outside, it's snowing, it's hot, it's cold. We really don't know, but one thing we do know is that this casserole is gonna make each and every one of you really happy. We're using potatoes, we're using ground beef, and a delicious creamy poblano sauce. This rice is super easy to make. All you have to do is place your pot on a medium heat, add 1 tablespoon of oil, add your clean rice, and continue until it's nice and toasted. Once it's nice and toasted, you're gonna go ahead and add some salt, Mexican oregano, your water quantity as suggested on your package, and your vinegar. Give that a loving mix and cook until it's ready. You'll need 8 to 10 potatoes. Peel your potatoes and slice them into rounds. Place them in the microwave for 10 to 12 minutes and place a damp paper towel over your potatoes to avoid oxidation. I'm using 10 poblanos and I'm gonna roast them until they're nice and charred. Once I get my poblanos nice and charred, I'm gonna place them into a container so that they can sweat, making it easier for us to peel the skin off. Once you remove all the skin from your poblano peppers, you wanna make sure to remove the stems and the seeds, and once you're done with that, you're gonna place them right into your blender. And remember to save 2 of them because we're gonna need some for our filling and also for our topping. Once you add your poblanos, you're gonna add a big bunch of cilantro. About how many stems? About 50. And if you want some added spice, you can add some serranos or jalapenos. 15 ounces of crema fresca. 1.5 cups of warm water. 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon. A handful of your favorite melty cheese. You can use mozzarella, queso Oaxaca, Chihuahua, you name it. So long as it can melt, you're gonna add a handful. And now we're gonna blend until smooth. And boom, done. Let's go cook our beef. Place your pan on a medium heat and add about 1 tablespoon of oil. Next, you're gonna add your ground beef. And this is what I do when I forget to thaw my ground beef. I tend to place it on the pan just like this. And I was supposed to show you guys this last summer, but we got busy. Things happen, life. And turn it over. And I scrape. And the parts that I scrape off are the ones that I start mashing down just like this.
It reminds me of when parents used to say, hey, take out the ground beef before they got home from work. And you forgot to take out the ground beef.
Take it easy on the teenagers. If it's ground beef, if it's chicken, then we're going to have to talk to them.
Those sweeties are busy. They have a lot going on.
They really do. I pray for them. School isn't easy.
Yep.
You know, the social aspect of it can cause anybody stress. So be gentle and kind to your kids. Especially if they come home with those red eyes from the lights. Oh my gosh, those used to give me such a horrible headache.
Or the hungry eyes coming out of the bus.
Yep.
Coming off the bus.
Yep, hungry eyes. And I'm just going to continue to do the same thing with this ground beef until it's all crumbly like this on the side. And we're just about done breaking down the frozen ground beef. And not to worry, it's not going to be overly dried or overly cooked. We're going to season this to perfection. If you like ground cumin, go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Add 1 of your roasted poblano peppers. Give that a loving mix. And continue to cook for another minute to a minute and a half. And boom, done. Time to assemble our casserole. And if you have one of these cool spoons, you can use that instead of a fork for your rice. Look at that. Keep it nice and fluffy. Just like me.
Is that a pasta spoon?
I believe it is.
It's a rice spoon now.
It's now a rice spoon. Place a little bit of your sauce at the bottom of your baking dish. Oh, I went a lot. That's okay.
I've never seen you sample a sauce so many times like this one.
I'm like, with this sauce, I'm acting like you did with the chicken one.
Hey.
Place your corn tortillas right here at the bottom. And you can use flour tortillas. Just make sure that you toast them a little bit before you place them at the bottom of your baking dish. Yeah, that fits a lot better. Add your rice. And our oregano rice came out so good today. I mean, it's always good, but something about it today was just like, hey, I'm going to show up for this casserole.
And not that anyone's counting, but you also have spoonfuls of that rice.
Hush, Cloud. Hush. Don't embarrass me in front of our friends.
I'm usually the one carrying spoons in my pocket for taste testing everything.
Yeah, I think a lot of you are going to be amazed with this casserole today. You know when every single flavor of your casserole just shines on its own? That's exactly what this casserole does.
This one will help you get a star in your Casserole Mom badge.
Yeah, you're going to be award winner soon. Sprinkle about 2 handfuls of cheese. You don't have to be too heavy for this layer. Next, you're going to add your layer of your ground beef. Some of you might want to use your taco seasoning for the ground beef, and I'm going to say for this casserole, try not to. but if that's all you have, go ahead. And then when you get a chance to make it this way, I think you're gonna understand the difference. Now I'm gonna add a little bit more of our sauce. Just enough to cover all of your ingredients. And have a spoon ready, because if you're just gonna pour it in, you're gonna run out of sauce and we need some for later. And now you're gonna layer your beautifully cooked potatoes. You might find that some of them have a little bit of oxidation. Not to worry, we're human, it happens. They're potatoes, so just flip it over. Ooh, that's hot. Next, you're gonna pour your sauce. And be careful because you don't want to overflow. But you do want to make sure that every single potato is coated with your sauce. And next, you want to layer a lot of cheese. You're going to need anywhere from 3 to 4 cups of cheese total for this recipe. As I mentioned earlier, you wanted to save 2 poblano peppers, 1 for your filling, and then 1 to sprinkle over the top. They're just thin little strips. And then you just want to decorate. Next, you're going to place your casserole in your oven for 45 minutes at 380 degrees. The last 15 minutes of your bake time, you want to remove the foil and continue to bake until everything's nice and gooey. I have a little bit of sauce left over and I'm going to use it. So to your hot pan, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. Once your butter melts, you're going to add the remaining sauce. Give that a loving mix to fully combine your ingredients, and you're going to continue to cook for 5 to 6 minutes on a medium-low heat. And this sauce is going to help us plate our casserole beautifully. You guys are going to feel like you're fine dining.
We like a good experience.
And you're going to experience that today, Cloud.
All right.
And boom, done. Our casserole's ready. And boom, done. Who's ready for a bite? I'm gonna need somebody very special to say,
Ooh, buen provecho.
Oh, you wanted that piece?
I've had a lot. Spoonfuls.
Careful, allow your casserole to rest at least 10 to 15 minutes before you serve. It is very hot, but we can't resist, so we're going in. Wow. This is a great casserole because it's both filling and flavorful. I hope that you guys enjoy this as much as our family does. Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. I'm your host Steph, and today I'm going to show you how to make a traditional Mexican birria. I'm going to show you how to perfect your consomme and how to keep your tacos crunchy. Now, a lot of you might get a little bit worried about making this recipe. Don't. I'm going to walk you through step by step, and I'm also going to be sharing best practices because I've been working on this particular recipe probably my whole life, and I'll tell you a little bit more in the video, but first we have to go over the ingredients. For this delicious recipe, you'll need 5 pounds of lamb, 2 pounds of beef cheek, 10 guajillo chiles, 2 dried chipotles, 4 roasted tomatoes, 1 roasted onion, 8 garlic cloves, 6 cups of water, 3 tablespoons of coarse sea salt, 6 bay leaves, half a tablespoon of ginger powder, half a tablespoon of ground cumin, 1.5 tablespoons of allspice, 1 tablespoon of marjoram, 1 tablespoon of Mexican oregano, half a tablespoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of instant decaffeinated coffee, half a block of Ibarra chocolate, and half a cup of pineapple vinegar. To your blender, you want to add your chiles guajillo, chipotle peppers, roasted garlic, roasted onions, 1 large bay leaf, powdered ginger, 2 tablespoons of salt, instant decaffeinated coffee. You guys put caffeine there and your grandma eats it. Don't come talk to me about that. Be worried if the kids get a hold of that. Black pepper, marjoram, Mexican oregano, allspice, ground cumin, Ibarra chocolate, pineapple vinegar, and if you don't have pineapple vinegar, which is the best for this recipe, you can use apple cider vinegar. And in my case, my chiles were cleaned. I have this broth right here that has been hydrating our chiles guajillos and our chipotle peppers, and that's the liquid that I'm going to be using. So you can use either water or some clean chili broth. And here's a little secret tip to enhance your birria flavor and give it that true, authentic Mexican flavor. You're going to need a little bit of tequila. Perfect. Make sure to add it to your blender and blend until smooth. And boom, done. Let's season our lamb. Once your ingredients are nice and blended, you're going to set aside 2.5 cups. You're going to add your tomatoes and you're going to blend again until smooth, and that should only take you about 20 seconds. But if you're not using a high-powered blender, it might take you a little bit longer, and that's okay. Now you're going to take your beautiful piece of lamb, and you're going to make sure that everything is patted down and dried. You're going to do the same with your beef cheeks, and you don't have to use beef cheek for this recipe, but I like it because it releases enough of the fattiness that we love when we need to make our birria quesatacos. Gorgeous, gorgeous, just like my beautiful sister, everybody.
What? Thank you.
I have about 1 tablespoon of coarse sea salt here, and we're going to start seasoning our protein. You're going to take your bay leaves and place them into the same marinating pot. And now you're going to drizzle your protein with your delicious sauce. One of the tips that I'm going to share with you is before you marinate, you have to check the temperature of your sauce. If it seems a little bit warm, then you want to place it in your refrigerator for a little bit before you add it to your protein, because that'll help you spoil your food quickly, and that's not what you want to do. You want to shine with your family because this is such a sacred dish that everybody's going to be talking about it. So if anybody's going to talk about you, I want it to be good things. Now with the remaining sauce, you're just going to pour over. And you're going to allow this to marinate for a minimum of 4 hours. And it's going to be best overnight or 24 hours, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to let this marinate in my refrigerator for 24 hours because I want to shine, baby. I want to shine with my family. I want everybody to fall in love with lamb birria as much as you love the beef. And if it's going to be a recipe, it's going to be this one. And I just give it a nice little press like this. So it's nice and tight. And I'll see you guys in 24 hours. And this is what your marinade looks like the next day. Now what we have to do is we have to transfer it into a bigger pot. The pot I'm using today is an Alpine pot. It's a 13-quart pot, and it's perfect for this recipe. If you guys are looking for this pot, you can find it in the description area where my sister Cloud will link it for you.
Oh, it smells delightful in here.
Yeah, it smells so good. You're going to pour all that sauce right over the top. Now the sauce that we had left over that we blended with the tomatoes, I placed them in a little container in my refrigerator, and now we're going to pour it right into this pot.
me in that sauce.
If you guys want to be marinated in this sauce, let us know in the comments. I'll join you.
Ooh, it smells so good.
Our proteins are going to release so much delicious juices, but we still need to help them out. So we're going to pour our water until it covers our protein completely. And that's the thing, you need enough broth for your birria ramen. Now it's time to bring this pot to a boil. If you ended up using a piece of lamb that has the bone in, you don't need this part. But if you don't have a bone-in lamb like my piece, then I suggest you get some beef bones and add them into your pot for a more delicious and luxurious flavor when you're dipping your tacos. You can't miss it. You're going to love this. Some of you are probably wondering, Steph, where are your carrots to your famous birria? It's going to be up to you. A lot of people don't like it when you make it traditional, but if it's just you at home and your family, you guys know, add some carrots. It's going to enhance the flavor of your broth, not just with that bone, but it just really combines so well with all the spices and the seasonings that we're using.
And our family recipe calls for carrots.
Yeah, our family recipe does call for carrots, but if you guys want that flavor that I showed you initially, add them. Once your pot comes to a boil, you're going to place it on a medium-low heat. More on the medium side than the low side, okay? I don't know what kind of burners you're using at home, but that's my best advice I can give you. You're going to place a lid over your pot. Make sure to leave a little crack. You don't want anything to boil over. And you're going to continue to cook for 3 hours to guarantee a nice, soft, tender, juicy birria. It's been about an hour and I'm going to check the flavor in my broth. I'm going to check if I need a little bit more salt. But you guys know me, I love chicken bouillon, especially with birria. So I'm going to taste my birria, I'm going to adjust my flavor, and I'm going to let you know in the description area under the ingredients what my adjustments for the birria were. And as you can see, I did add a few carrots because my little guy, if there's no carrots in the birria, he doesn't want anything to do with it. And you want to ask the person that's cooking with you to taste because, you know, there's magic in the kitchen. There's a lot of love. So your favorite person that loves to sit there and cook with you, even if they're 3 or 4 or 76, or I can't say my sister's age, they're going to taste it and you guys can adjust together.
I have trained you well. Thank you so much.
Let me blow on this for you, my sweetheart.
Yes. Ew, nasty.
My germs. My germs.
We're okay, guys.
Oh my goodness. I love
Is that good?
Yes.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Un provechito.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Ooh.
That's going to revive anyone.
There's so much nutrients in this broth when you have lamb, and then we have all the fattiness from your beef cheeks. Oh, it's absolutely divine. And if I said divine, you guys are gonna have to try this because it's like fine wine.
Oh, just like you.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
Some of our friends have questions on what's on your refrigerator. Do you mind showing us?
The kid stuff? Yeah, let's see what's on my refrigerator, unless you guys want to see these crows that keep crowing because it's snowing today, but let's go.
All right, what you got there, Mom?
Okay, so let's talk about this. You're going to see one of these commonly in a Mexican household, especially in Mexico, or if you're raised around the Mexican culture, you're going to have one of these. These are called a santoral. A santoral has a daily saint. So for example, if Cloud had a baby today, come in close, Cloud, so you guys can see. This
Why
is
Cloud?
because I'm not having any more babies, guys. So you would come here on Sunday the 2nd, and it's Domingo de Ramos, Palm Sunday. And when you have Palm Sunday, you can name your child Francisco or Francisca. And for us, Ramos, we're Ramos, so
Yep.
it's fitting for us.
It is.
And if, for example, you wanted to have a baby on the 25th of April, then you can name that baby San Marcos or San Marcas. I don't know.
No,
What would it be?
sorry, sweetie. I already have a name. You're not renaming me.
So that's what this santoral is. And where can you find these? Well, let me tell you. You can find it at your local meat market, your local Mexican grocery stores. I know that Carnitas, if you guys are familiar with that store, they do have these during the holidays. You're going to find these around December. And for me, Cloud was able to find one of these with the beautiful alcatrazes in the back. at one of our local carnicerias, which is Carniceria Jalisco. Shout out to one of our local markets. We love you guys. And yeah, that's what you have. And then you have my mommy stuff here. Aww. My Valentine's Day card for my babies. And you guys don't need to know too much about all of the chore charts, but if you guys want, Cloud will link this that goes on the refrigerator, because that way when my kids act like they didn't see the chore chart or they don't remember, it's right in front of the refrigerator, their favorite place. So, you know, mommies, you get what I'm talking about right now.
Is that one of your favorite places too?
This one, let me see, what's my favorite place? I'll tell you guys tomorrow. And boom, done. Our birria is ready. And there you have it, a beautiful, delicious birria cooked to perfection, ready for you to eat. As you can see here, the beef cheeks and our bones gave us enough of our fatty, delicious flavor that we need to make the best birria quesatacos. And now I'm going to show you how to keep your birria quesatacos nice and crispy no matter what kind of tortillas you're using. And now it's time to shred. I would love to tell you that I haven't had any pieces of this delicious lamb, but I'd be lying to you. I've already had a few pieces.
We have indulged.
Nice and tender birria. Ooh, this is about to get real juicy. So just continue to shred, just like that. And Cloud's gonna put her camera down because she's really good at shredding. You got it, dude. If you're gonna order these tacos anywhere, you're gonna order this particular cut as tacos de cabeza or tacos de cachete.
My personal favorite.
Yeah. The tacos de cabeza will bring me to tears. So if you guys see me crying today,
no.
You're gonna know why.
No crying today, okay? You already did
tears
that
of joy. Tears of joy. Then once you shred your birria, you can soak it with your broth. And this portion of birria we're going to be using for the quesatacos. And the other portion over here is for those of you or us that enjoy it in a bowl with the tortilla to dip in. And don't sleep on these bones. There is bone marrow in there that's really good for you. And it's going to keep you looking super supple and juicy. Okay, we're gonna go over the ingredients you need for your birria quesatacos. You're gonna need a delicious melty cheese. You can use mozzarella, you can use queso chihuahua, and as of lately, my sister found this private select Mexican blend. It says asadero, Oaxaca, and quesadilla that's gonna melt to perfection to perfect your tacos. So what are we gonna fill our tacos with? Cheese. We also have a beautiful bowl of cilantro and onions, and let's go ahead and get started.
Wait, there's limes in there.
Cloud, that's for when you crisp up your taco and you just squeeze a little bit on the top, or for your broth, which is what we're doing here. Some of you are going to ask me about how many people will this recipe feed. I'd say if you eat like me, maybe 2. I'm just kidding. I think a good 15 to 20 people if you stretch it a little bit, but if you need to feed 20 people, you can add an extra 5 pounds of your beef cheek or some lamb, and then, you know, you're gonna have plenty even for the next day. You know how I know everybody's gonna love this birria?
Why?
Because I've been you've known I've been a lamb birria hater my whole life. And I hate to admit it in front of you guys, but I am. I've never liked lamb birria from anywhere that I've ever had it. The only birria that I've liked is the one that I make at home. So how do I know that this is going to convince you guys? Because I've worked so hard on this recipe for you guys. So come in close because we're going to get started on these tacos. Depending on where you live, you might not always have access to amazing corn tortillas. I find that most of the store-bought tortillas tend to be a little bit more humid and they don't taste as good as the one in Mexico. We'll just say that. So what I like to do is I want to make sure that I dry my tortilla out. I want to take out as much moisture as I can, so I cook it on each side about 30 seconds. Sometimes it might take you a little bit longer if you live in a humid area. So the goal here is to take as much of the moisture as we can out of these tortillas. And that's going to be the first step to amazing and perfectly made quesabirria crispy tacos. You see that steam coming out? That's the moisture leaving that tortilla. So I'm going to continue to warm our tortillas up. And next, we're going to assemble our tacos. You're going to dip the tip of your tortilla in your broth in here, just like your taquero would. Just like that. That's going to give us enough oil to crisp up our tacos. Tacos, tacos, tomato, tomato, it's all the same. It depends on who you're talking to. You know, Cloud's over here serenading Anita Baker to me while we're cooking in the background. Yeah, in the background, and it's just, it's gonna be so delicious today. It's gonna be one of those days. And you guys know I like to pack these tacos and make them thick, super juicy, just for you.
Because nothing can compare.
Nothing compares to this taco. It's been 3 years and a few minutes since I made you guys this delicious birria. Yeah, right. We've been making it nonstop. So go ahead and fold it to your best abilities. And I sound like the seagull from. I sound like
Come
the
here, let me
seagull
dance
from,
you.
from The Little Mermaid.
No, you do not. Oh my gosh, that seagull is beautiful.
All right, once you get that little crispiness, you're gonna flip it over. Ooh, qué delicia.
No, le vamos a dar serenata aquí estos tacos.
Yo sé bien que estoy afuera,
Ay, güey.
pero el día que yo me muera. You can add a little bit more of your oil right here. Make it look very sexy. This is the sexiest taco in the whole world.
Just like your tía Cobb. Hey.
Fully out because my sister and I tend to get on everybody's nerves when we do that. But we're just
happy.
giggly. We're joyful ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go back at it again. Oh, that one came out better, don't you think?
Yeah, you did a great job. Hey, don't be getting carried away. Get those little burnt ends over there.
They're going to stay there. Leave them. Leave them.
Para la suegra. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding.
You had to.
I had to do it.
You had to do it. Whoa. Qué rico. And boom, done. We're ready to eat. And now you can top with a little bit of onions and cilantro. And for those of you that like the lime flavor, you can add some lime. Put a little bit of lime on your tortilla. A little bit of salt. Roll it up. Dip it. And I'm going to need somebody no, that's not the bite you guys want. Hold on. And there's nothing we love more than a quesadilla taco. It's hot, so be careful. I'm going to need somebody very special to say And now it's time for us to enjoy dipping our birria quesadilla tacos and just indulging in this delicious dish.
You were so right about the crunch.
They do stay crispy. You have to make sure to take out all the humidity from your tortilla and you're set. Wow.
Medicine in a bowl.
Mm-hmm. If I got dirty, I'm so sorry. It had to happen today. Now look away because it's about to get really dangerous for me here.
Yeah, right. You're going to take a nap.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Straight to bed.
It has a buttery flavor and it's just so well seasoned that I don't even know what's in here and I made it.
Wow.
Hello and welcome. Today you're going to learn how to make a mango lemonade and a lemonade mango nada. We're going to start off by taking 1.5 cups of cane sugar. If you don't have cane sugar, that's okay. Just your favorite sugar, that's what we're going to use. And if you're not allowed to have sugar, you're going to have to use your favorite substitute. Well, there goes my jar of sugar, you guys. You're going to take 8 cups of warm water and you're going to pour that right into your bowl. Be very careful. I don't want anybody burning themselves. You're going to need 4 to 6 lemons, and what I mean by that is that if your lemons are small, you're going to need 6. If your lemons are large, like industrial Costco size, then you're going to need 4. But if your lemons are super juicy and soft, such as these right here, then you might need 4 to 5. So just adjust with what you have on hand. I don't want you guys going out of your way to make this lemonade, but after you watch this, you probably are, because it's that good. I've pre-washed my lemons to make sure that our skins are nice and clean because we are going to be needing them for this delicious lemonade. With a potato peeler, I find it easier to peel my lemons because we need that beautiful skin. We need that zest in this sugary water to enhance the flavor of our lemonade. And you're going to use a minimum of 4 of the lemon skins into this delicious sugary water. Try not to go too deep. We don't want any of the white parts. We just want that beautiful yellow color. Once you peel your lemon skins, you're going to go ahead and give that a mix to make sure that all your sugar at the bottom is nice and dissolved. Now, if you like sweet lemonade for your teeth to fall off sweet, you're going to want to use 2 cups of sugar. And you're going to go ahead and set this to the side for 15 minutes. Now you want to start slicing your lemons because we are going to need that juice. We're making lemonade. If you're looking for a citrus squeezer, let me tell you, my sister sold me on this KitchenAid one. It's perfect and it handles just about any kind of citrus that you can think about. I didn't realize I was going to be using it as much as I do.
The kids even love this one.
They do. I ended up with a little bit over 3/4 of a cup of lemon juice. So anywhere between 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup is what you'll need. Go ahead and set this to the side and we're going to get started by peeling our mangoes. We're going to be using 2 large mangoes. Again, straight out of Mexico. Super delicious. But if you don't have access to these, you can use a small bag of your frozen mangoes. There's something about big red mangoes from Mexico. So if you're looking for the Mexican kind, the one you get from your street vendors, you're going to find them under red mangoes. And then you're just going to chop it into smaller pieces. They don't have to be perfect because they'll be going in the blender. Now that we're all set, you just want to remove your lemon skins. Place your mangoes into your blender. Does somebody want a piece?
Me. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're going to pour in your warm lemony water, but be careful. I don't want anybody burning themselves. Add your lemon juice. And now you're going to blend until smooth. And boom, done. Time to strain. That smells divine. Ooh. Some of you are wondering, why am I straining? Because lemonade is supposed to be smooth and refreshing. Now, if you're going to be drinking your mango lemonade with ice, you just want to strain it. Now, if you're going to be making the treat a mangonada, then you don't want to strain it and you can keep the pulp. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with this blend. Just pour it in with the pulp.
I want the party on the left.
I knew you were going to say that. I have some cute little jars that I purchased off Amazon. The link will be in the description area. It's hot outside. My kids, they still like juice boxes. They still like the specialty drinks, but I'm not going to spend that much money. They're getting older. It goes by real quick, so this is going to save me a lot of money, and I hope it saves you some as well. I'm going to fill them up. And I won't let them touch these until they get nice and cold. So sometimes you have to wait till the next day. The anticipation. Okay, let me fill some more. I think we can afford a little bit more. There we go. And this is perfect for those days when you're having a picnic. You don't want to look at your kids. Just get them a treat. So stopping at Starbucks all the time, that's going to break the bank. Love you, Starbucks, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And for my comadritas, my friends I like to sell, these are awesome because they have the seal. So I like to fool my kids. I'm sorry. Sometimes you have to. And you'll need anywhere from 6 to 7 cups of ice. And boom, done. And look at that perfection. We got enough ice and we have enough of the lemonade in here. You guys ready to assemble this lemonade mangonada?
Yes.
Ooh, mangonada, yeah, yeah. Mangonada, yeah, yeah. If you want a mangonada, place some mango emojis in the comments. On this side, we have a little bit of tajin, and on this side, I have some mega chamoy. Dip your beautiful cup in some chamoy. And then you're gonna drizzle it around. Some extra at the bottom. Ooh, let life happen. Oh, perfect. I dipped it right on time. I was quick on that. I want the tajin to stick to the chamoy. One of those naughty kids. Is this lemonade talking to me? Did you hear that? I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of mangoes at the top. Because I'm one of the naughty kids. And so are my children. We love this candy. You guys need it. It's called Tomarroca, and we'll link it in the description. We're going to be as helpful as we can so you guys can enjoy this treat. Place it right on in. And boom, done. Who's ready for a taste? I'm going to need somebody very special to say And just like that, you have a delicious lemonade mangonada. That's tart, sweet, and perfect. And once I start with these drinks, I don't stop. I'm just like you guys. And Claude and I are always wishing you the best. We absolutely adore you. And on that one, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Adios. That's so good. I'm giving the cheesy Doritos a break. You know what I like to enjoy these Doritos with?
What?
Not just a refreshing drink, but I like a plain turkey sandwich. With just like a regular cheddar cheese, mayo, lettuce, a slice of jamon or turkey, your favorite. Okay, I'm gonna make one.